Oh, all right. And I think I'm streaming now. All right. Just got through eating a delicious steak. I'll be right back in the steak. Because I still have more left of it. I'm going to put it up in the kitchen. All right. Oh, one moment. One brief moment. Okay. All right, I'm streaming now. I said I would stream earlier. I did a brief stream before I started. It was like 4 minutes. That was like a while ago, 2 hours ago. I was playing Tekken. I was gonna go to the gym too earlier today, but it was storming, so I didn't feel like it. And I had to do laundry anyway. I had to do more laundry. I couldn't get done yesterday. But we're gonna make an attempt tonight on this room level 1. See what I can do before I get sleepy. Because I might be sleepy. I didn't have caffeine, but I'm awake right now, so we'll see how long I last. I was also thinking about doing playing those new game demos that were announced at the game shows. I wanted to try a lot of those games out. I need to go look at videos, because I don't remember what most of them were. I remember what some of them were, but I don't remember all of them. There's so many good things I want to play, but then there's other good things coming out. Like the DLC for this game's coming out in a week. It's crazy, dude. I mean, next week it'll be out. Like next Friday is when it'll be out. Yeah, I made another stream before I did this stream today. It was only 4 minutes because it was like a mini rant on Tekken 8. Very deserved rant, I would say. Because I had an asshole who decided to DC on me because I was whooping his ass. Now, I'm one of those people who doesn't always balk at the someone disconnecting. I assume, I don't know, they might have disconnected because they were probably having connection issues. I disconnected because of bad latency on someone else's end, so I just decided to leave because it's like a slideshow going on. So I'll DC if the connection is that bad. I can't even do anything in this match. Everything's moving like a slideshow. It's like really slow. So that's the only time I've ever disconnected. But this guy decides, the connection. I don't think that guy was having connection issues. That guy, because we had done 2 other rounds together prior to his DC on the 3rd round when I was about to win the entire set and rank up. He didn't like the idea of losing rank. I think he was about to lose his rank. he was a Ganryu in Tekken 8, which is like a red rank. I think it's the starting red rank. I'm gonna get a dodge on him. I guess we'll do all right. Oh, I spoke too soon. Yeah, I think this he was a Yoshimitsu, and I was playing Leroy. And I think this fucking Yoshimitsu was like about to lose his rank or something, and he was mad that he was gonna lose it to me, a Leroy. So he decided to DC before it counted. Oh, pathetic. There's a lot of that in ranks. Typically, you encounter that in ranks, but I've encountered it in random matches too. It's really silly. Yeah, this is plugged up. We're gonna use this controller than that. I prefer this controller because the analog on. I have two controllers, but this other controller is not as good because the analog stick sticks. So I picked up another controller. Yeah, man. So that guy wasn't having connection issues. The prior 2 rounds we had together were fine. He didn't decide to DC from those. So I noticed he also was lag switching every time there was the last round of the last match of a round. He would always lag switch, and you know he was lag switching. Everything got all stuttery and slow, and he started skipping around whenever it was, the deciding match. Whenever it was the deciding match, I noticed stuff started to lag. And then the guy ends up DCing on the last match of the last round of the set, the third round, the deciding round. But he decides to DC on top of also lag switching on the prior last matches of the other rounds, which is pathetic. Like Yoshimitsu's already a broken. Why would you have to do such a thing? I mean, I was good though. I was still beating him, but he should have just got good instead of DCing, lag switching before that. I don't get it. But I see how people be keeping their ranks. This is how they be doing it. They disconnect before the deciding match. Makes them, demotes them. There's demotions in the ranks. He DCs before it counts the demotion. That's how he keeps his rank, I guess. They used to demote you when you DC'd in the prior section, I believe. Yeah. And then this one they don't do that anymore. I don't know why. Or they haven't installed it yet. The feature where you get demoted anyway if you DC. I don't know. Pathetic behavior though. Or maybe he was just really mad. He might have just been. Well, I guess that could be both. Trying to save his rank on top of the fact he was also, mad that he was losing. But there's something I also wanted to play in the background while I fight this boss. It's about games in general. It might be, I don't know how offensive it'll be. We'll listen to it. It might be funny at the very least. Where is it? Well, now I don't even remember where it is. Oh, here it is. It's called When Did Games Become So Soft? Well, let's see what that's about.
Does anybody else notice how soft games have become in the past 10 years? I remember when GTA San Andreas came out in 2004, you could kill
Not as soft as Charlotte.
them.
Oh, actually, let me turn the volume down a little bit. Okay.
You could kill dads, you could have sex with prostitutes, and basically engage in the most depraved nonsense imaginable. Fast forward to 2024, and games are so afraid of offending people, they won't even let you misgender somebody. Now, guys, just
it's one of
I have
those.
no interest in a political debate. I don't want to get political about this because I honestly don't care.
You already got
Can
political.
just acknowledge how much games have changed in the past 20 years? Phil Spencer, the head of Xbox, keeps saying this slogan, quote, "When everyone games, we all win," meaning he wants to get away from console games being just for us heterosexual edgelord males. But does he understand that we are the dudes who play console games?
Oh, it's
Xbox was just in the news this past week for shutting down a bunch of studios,
this
and
might
the
be.
reason Phil Spencer gave was, quote, stagnant growth in the video game
Might
market.
not want to get into
Basically,
this
people
type
aren't playing games as much as they used to.
You know, I would talk
Is it
about
possible
this
it's
maybe
because the video game
on
industry
another
stopped
day,
catering to their
but
audience?
it's late at night. I didn't know it'd be this type of video. I would give opinions on a day where I'm more awake. Not now. Yeah, I ain't gonna bother with that on this night. Too tired. I was just wondering what it was about, but yeah, it's some politics stuff, some culture war stuff, I guess. Most fun out. That's a tier list for Elden Ring bosses. I don't know. I guess I'll just continue on the game. There is a tips to prepare for the Elden Ring DLC. I might listen to that. Actually, it might be important. I need to find it again though. Need to find that video. How to prepare for Shadow of the Erd Tree. That's from Fighting Cowboy. All right, Fighting Cowboy. Let's hear it.
What is happening, y'all? Cowboy here. In this video, we're going to be talking about how to get ready for Shadow of the Erd Tree. Now, the first and most important thing is you need to have defeated Moog. If you have not made your way on over here, this is the requirement to enter the DLC. You'll beat him and you'll have access to this grace where I'm at right here.
Moog is a bitch.
Now, to get over to the Mogwin Dynasty Mausoleum and the Mogwin Dynasty area in general, there are two different paths you can take. If you are already late game, you can go up to the hidden path to the Hell Tree that is up here. And over here, there is an enemy that you'll need to fight, and then you can take a portal, and that will warp you on over there. However, you can actually get to this area significantly earlier, and that is by doing Var's quest line. And you may remember Var as the dude that we first encounter right here, first step.
Said with you bitches.
Step, we will move on over
course.
to the lakes of Urian,
Know him by now.
and we will find him right here near Rose Church. His quest line involves getting
Sound us how to get the Moog, but we know that already. There's how old is this video? I wanted to see there's a newer
You can
one.
acquire an item that will then
If I recall.
teleport you into this area.
It was longer than this.
Now,
Might have clicked the wrong
some
video.
other bosses that I would suggest chasing down in advance. The first is going to be Radon. I would suggest you get Radon out of the way. Why do you want to get Radon out of the way?
Yeah, we'll fight
Because
Radon tonight.
It's going to be fantastic for late game.
If I don't kill this big dude.
Radon's Great Rune in the late game because we have stats already. Radon's Great Rune is a very solid choice, just giving us maximum health, HP, and stamina. This is a very solid go-to choice to have on your matches. Alternatively, I think Riker's Great Rune is another decent choice because the HP restoration upon defeating enemies is just going to be very helpful as you're exploring the DLC and going through new legacy dungeons, just helping to keep your health topped off. So I would suggest getting both of those.
Uh-oh, he's going to roll into a ball now. Alright, yep, sure is.
Also, highly suggest you take down.
Guess I'll have a drink.
And that's because with Ronaldo down, we then have the ability to respec. And obviously, you're going to find all sorts of loot, spells, and whatnot in the DLC. And
That
more
works.
likely, you're going to want to respec at least a couple
Son of
times.
a bitch.
So I highly suggest
At least he didn't.
taking
Oh, fuck!
the ability to respec.
Okay, we did pretty good there.
Not all that much, but I would
just need to
suggest you
recreate
get your bell bearings and you load up on as much upgrade mats as possible. Now, if you remember, as we turn the bell bearings, we're able to go back on over here to this person.
Yeah, I know about that. This is basically it. I'm going to click off of this. How old is this video? This seems old. No, it's from 11 hours ago. This is obvious stuff. I thought he had something. a bit more like unique. Nah, we already know that. I know where the bell bearings are. General now. I have a general remembrance of where they are. One of them, I gotta go to the snow area. God damn it. Okay, 1 second. I'm gonna listen to something, so I'm alert. Dragon Age? Oh, there's a fucking Dragon Age demo. I didn't even see it. Massive gamer survey. I always distrust surveys because you never know what sample size is, what the true sample size is. If people are being honest in the surveys they're getting, just to like, if they're doing them in person, somebody who's being approached in person wants to look, at the best possible, so they'll lie on a in-person survey. You can never trust those. People aren't always giving their honest answers on something like that. Especially if they know they're being filmed, they'll give like a fake answer so they don't look bad. In defense of 7 out of 10 games, let's listen to this crap. Oh, there's an MMO shooter? That might be good, actually. Yeah, as we go watch the Ubisoft show. I will watch that on another day. That's the one show I didn't watch, is the Ubisoft show, because I don't really care about Ubisoft. Oh, AAA gaming is in big trouble. Let's hear it. Let's hear this crap. I mean, I don't care about AAA gaming. I already know the trouble with AAA gaming, and I hope it goes away. It's a parasite. It's not good for gaming. It's not good for the industry. We'd be better off without the AAA parasite shit going on.
Gaming is dying. That's right. If you happen to miss
AAA gaming is dying.
I'm not sure if you have the memo, but AAA gaming is dying. That's right. If you happen to miss the thousands of other videos on this topic, it would appear that AAA games are in big trouble. Fret not if you're a fan, though. And for real, though, like, honestly, it's not always, that's not always the case. That is not always the case, and like, this Microsoft game show that we just got done watching today proves that not all AAA is dead. For these companies are still doing fine, releasing blockbuster titles, coming in millions of dollars, but it does seem in many ways
I don't know what
industry has been collapsing under its
it proves that people like sequels.
Think about how often we've seen these new big AAA games launching and failing. To be fair, like, I could have told you Forspoken was going to be garbage. Like, I don't know who the executive is.
After playing the demo, I knew it was going to be garbage. The demo made it
they're dumb.
Obvious.
Yeah, so
the controls were not good.
That's it. It's just stupid. Like, you shouldn't have done it. Like,
mechanics
could
are
have
not
told you
good.
that by most metrics. Recently had a few high-profile examples. Suicide Squad killed Justice League, the live service game. Yeah, like, whose idea was it to make Harley Quinn less hot?
That game wasn't bad because Harley Quinn wasn't hot. The Suicide Squad game. That was just a bad game.
Thing to do. Some dumbass. Do you think anybody gives a fuck about Harley Quinn? Nobody cares about Harley Quinn. They just like her because she's hot.
I mean, no, actually, that's not it. There's a lot of hot girls in DC.
What's wrong with you?
That's not true. He doesn't read comic books.
Rocksteady launched in February, peaked at 13,000.
It was just about her being hot. There's plenty of other hot girls, but they don't all have the same personality.
The funny thing is, it's higher than it was.
Actually, 1 second.
From critics, and according to its own publisher, sales fell far below expectations, resulting in a poor financial quarter. The net result of them developing this game, it cost Warner Bros. Nearly $200 million in losses. So far, keep in mind it's a live service game.
200
the
million.
standalone
That's
spin-off
awesome.
of the much
Spider-Man game.
combat from Assassin's Creed Black Flag spent over 11 years in development,
And somehow it's worse than Black Flag. That's impressive.
cost Ubisoft over $200
The
million
Skull
to
and
make,
Bones game. That game was made by the Singapore government funding.
Shambles and washed ashore. Review scores averaged around 61.
From what I
The
heard.
game accrued less than 1 million total players across all platforms, and apparently it is not expected to recoup its development costs. Not a great showing for the world's first quadruple A game.
Yeah, they call that the
highlight
quadruple
some of
A
the
game,
bigger
Skull and
issues with
Bones.
AAA games.
That's so
massive
terrible.
budgets, long development times, and no room for failure. Many of these games take on average 5 to 7 years to make. Development time for some of these titles exceeding a decade. And this time,
You know what that game reminded me of? It reminded me of like whenever you were a little kid. It's like no, that's a bad way to say it. It's like eating candy. And like the colors are so vibrant and they're everywhere. It's like playing that game looked like eating candy until you're sick.
translates to loads of money. In fact, I would say one of the biggest sources
There's a
of
lot of
problems for AAA gaming, period, stems from the fact that these games cost way too much to make. In the late 90s and early 2000s, the high end of development costs for games included titles like Final Fantasy VII and 2, which both cost $40 million, or World of Warcraft, which cost
That's it?
$65 million. But again, these numbers were at the high end of cost in the time frame between, say, 95 and
Yeah, you gotta keep in mind,
Oh,
like,
1995,
World of Warcraft, like, these were the top of the top. This was
That is a lot
the
in
cream of the
that
crop.
year.
2005. Most other games that we'd consider AAA of this time period fell well
Exactly,
below
yeah.
the mark. The original Bioshock was made for just $25 million. Legend of Zelda
And it was the best one.
$12 million.
Now keep in mind, Ocarina of Time, like, what year was that? 1996, 97, 98, something like that?
No, Ocarina of Time was
What's
like
that really mean
98.
nowadays? Probably more like,
early
I don't know, like...
I don't know why you're saying 96.
I don't
Yeah,
know,
right.
like
There's
60
no
million,
games like
80
that.
million, 100 million. You think it's that much? Yeah. 1997, yeah.
Solid cost $10 million. Call of Duty Finest Hour $8.5
It was a
million.
97.
The original Mass Effect was reportedly made for under $3 million, and EverQuest was also made for
Maybe in
only
Japan it
$4
was
million.
nicer.
Can you believe that?
I don't
But
know.
over the past 2 decades, things have become much more expensive across the board. This applies to game development as well. On average, it seems that most AAA games nowadays will cost in the ballpark of $50 million, with many of the biggest games swinging well above that number. Breaking the $100 million mark included Battlefield 4, GTA 4, Destiny, and Final Fantasy 14. Games that cost over $200 million to make were Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, Horizon Forbidden West.
Well, it's like you can't bring out a new big game and then take a huge risk with something that isn't a guarantee slam dunk for the audience. Like Microsoft is doing it right with Gears of War. Marcus is about to fall off the edge, and who is it that stops him but his main man, Dom?
Good.
There's no bullshit. There's no, forced female counterpart character that's better than Marcus in every single way. There's no added battle pass or anything weird, always online thing. They're going exactly with what the audience wants. They know it will sell, and I fucking bet it's gonna sell. I bet, I'll be there. I will fucking be there. I'll be playing it. I think a lot of people are going to be playing that game. Let's not jinx it. Yeah, but what I'm saying is, that's what it is, right? And, if you take risks, while, for example, with The Last of Us 2, having that weird, female bodybuilder character, that's a risk. Why are you doing this? Why does the audience doesn't want? What the fuck is wrong with you?
Wait, what game is this?
Making Harley Quinn ugly. That's a risk. Why are you doing this? Just make the game good.
What game is this?
Make what people want. And if you take risks, while for example, with The Last of Us 2, having that weird female bodybuilder character, that's a risk. Why are you doing this? Why does the audience doesn't want? What the fuck is wrong with you? Making Harley Quinn ugly, that's a risk. Why are you doing
it wasn't
this?
even that
Just make the
fucking
game
Abby
good, make what
muscle
people
bound. It's
want,
the fact that
and then you're not going to have any problems.
they want us to care about this character. And
It's just so weird.
she's responsible for killing a main character from the prior game.
Last of Us 2,
we're supposed to like play her, play as her.
Elder Scrolls Online.
So what the fuck? Nobody's gonna give a fuck about her.
Cyberpunk 2077
After you had her do that.
Star Citizen has
It don't matter what the fuck she looks like. Not that her character design is great, but you can make arguments about it, but that's not the main issue, to be honest.
Post-launch support. Nevertheless, they're getting close to $1 billion in development costs for that game, although I think it's probably over $1 billion at this point.
Genshin's very profitable.
Regardless, between the fact that these games now take on average at least half a decade to make, and they cost so many millions of dollars, the result is little to no room for failure. And when a AAA game does flop, well, we've seen the outcome in recent months, with a new round of layoffs announced every other week and seemingly nearly as many studio closures. Surprise, most companies can't afford to take 5 years making a game that ends up not only not making money, but losing them $200 million. That is the opposite.
Yeah, it's like any people
they're showing that Anthem video.
But hey, you want to know a company that's not doing layoffs? I'll tell you a company. It's a fucking Capcom. You know why? It's because they're making Dragon's Dogma 2, a game that sold incredibly well. They're making Street Fighter 6, which is, in my opinion,
Monster Hunter is where it's at. I'm waiting for that.
Maybe Smash, right?
Monster Hunter.
I don't want to get that argument, but Street Fighter 6 is like very well respected. People love Street Fighter 6. It's huge, right? It's great. Like there's that, and then there's also Resident Evil. They're making that.
Yeah, Resident
Then you
Evil's
have Monster Hunter. Capcom had a marketing campaign for Monster Hunter that just said play Monster Hunter, and then it revived the entire game. Well, Warner Brothers can't do that with Suicide Squad. Fuck, they can't even pay people to play it.
Yeah.
And Capcom's hiring more people. That's it.
Of what they were hoping for. And I think because of that, for the most part, AAA games are just way too
Capcom makes much better games, I'll say that.
risks. I mean, this is pretty
And
obvious.
there's a focus that, like, for example, people are focusing on, like, the facial motions of a character in a cinematic. Nobody cares about this.
Yeah, it's
This
fluff.
doesn't matter. This impresses other people that are like professional reviewers and contemporaries in your industry. You think about all the facial movements in Armored Core 6?
There were none. No.
Or Elden Ring?
But I care more about those characters in a lot of other games that do show faces.
Nobody cares.
Games that don't take risks get pretty boring after the 1,000.
Like, you don't actually see people's faces in Armored Core.
Design and gameplay of, let's say, your brand new MMO plays
But you care about them anyway.
every other MMO.
You care about their story, their background.
Guess what? It's going to get really fast. And
It's
an
like
industry categorized as entertainment. If I'm bored, I'm out of here. I guess unless I'm addicted, in which case I'll stick around for a little while.
They'll write a bad Steam review after 1,000 downloads and then play 1,000 more.
Yeah.
Damn you, game designer.
Writing storytelling
That's right.
for the sake is a risk. You have to include modern politics to be safe. Well, this is another
What's
really
modern
big problem is that a lot of Western studios, I don't think that Western studios right now have the trust of the player base. And this is a huge issue that a lot of developers, or sorry, not developers, journalists don't want to talk about because it's not convenient for them and it's not part of the message, but it's huge. People, like, today, for example, there were so many games that had, like, a female protagonist, and people just immediately wrote the game off as woke bullshit.
Yeah, that's a bad trend.
That's just what happened. And, like, at the end of the day, you can call those people racist, sexist, wrong, bigots, or whatever, but at the end of the day, if there's enough of them and they're not buying your game, you're going out of business. Like, that's it. And I think the real problem of what happened is that Western developers have completely lost the trust of the audience. They've completely lost the trust of the individual player that the actual developer will tell a story that is authentic and true to a core belief that they have. And instead, this message is being sent to them or being given to them in a way that is patronizing, inauthentic, or ham-fisted in a way that the company doesn't like. So basically, Western developers, like Eastern developers, do the exact same thing in a lot of cases, right? Like Final Fantasy 16 literally didn't sell in places in the Middle East because they required them to take out the gay relationship in the game, which was a core role to the game. And I think Dion is probably one of the most well-liked characters inside of Final Fantasy 16. So they didn't take that. They didn't take that out.
I think the issue with the Final Fantasy 16
is fine, right? That is what it is. But nobody criticized them and said it was woke or DEI or anything like that. And the reason why is because the trust is there that Square Enix and creative business Unit 3.
I don't want to play Final Fantasy to play Game of Thrones.
Or telling a story that is a story that they want to tell and that is authentic. So it's not even the problem is
even
not
this
even
game, Elderman, is inspired by
any sort
George
of
R. R. Martin.
LGBT or women or anything like that. The problem is with trust and authenticity.
This game does not really revolve around developers a lot of the shit you'll see in the Game of
not have the
Thrones.
trust of a huge amount of gamers. And whether you want to pretend like these people don't exist or not, it doesn't really matter. Because at the end of the day, if you bring out a game like that and it doesn't sell, you're going to be out on your ass with a box trying to make a Twitter post to get a bunch of likes to make people feel sorry for you because you just got laid off. It doesn't really matter what your opinion on it is. It doesn't matter how you feel about the topic. The customer is always right. And if there's enough customers, you're going to be wrong.
We're pretending like the issue with the games is because
how do they get that trust back?
It's only the cosmetic stuff.
Number
It has
one,
nothing to do with the
stop
game
making
itself.
posts about Pride Week.
That's part of
whenever you have
it. That can be part of it, but certainly not the only thing.
Number one. Or
A
Pride Month.
game
Yeah, that's
is,
number
you know,
one right
is
there.
a game
For me,
first and
that's what it
foremost.
is. It's a joke.
This is like we're getting into this culture war type of shit. You can say that, but is the game fun or not? Is the game play well or not?
result is the bland mush of focus-tested, streamlined, psychologically optimized chum that we are so accustomed to. And don't get me wrong here.
Yeah, I mean, this is Diablo 4. Yeah, there's some good. Somebody's unhappy. They say, I've got a cool dog whistle. What was the dog whistle? What was it? What was it? Promise he has nothing to back it up. Just little quotes to get your attention. Again, rats
It's anything
thrive
dog whistle.
on innuendo
I could understand somebody who would have that
inconsistency.
impression.
My
Because
God,
when you notice there's a trend
because you're a douche.
about,
Good.
them criticizing anything with
By the way,
a
guys,
female protagonist or a black one, especially. you might notice, you might start to suspect some dog whistles. I think the real issue though is that Western dev making is just they don't make good shit to begin with, so that has a byproduct of making anything attached to anything Western now has a gets a bad impression as well. Things that shouldn't, like just having a woman protagonist or a black protagonist or any other non-white protagonist gets stigmatized as woke automatically, and that's a bad thing. But this is mainly by culture war type of platforms and discussions, which are just I think they're being artificially boosted on social media. It's not like everybody is trying to push this culture war crap, but it's being pushed a lot on social media. So, and that doesn't seem organic either. I don't like the inorganic manner. Like, I do agree with some claims about how inorganic some of the focus testing and trying to fill in check boxes on certain characters in the games or the product. It does seem very cynical and corporate, and just trying to check a list, check a box on a list. That looks really phony, and I notice it too. Like some of I don't even like the execution. Like the idea, is sound if it's executed properly, but The execution is just really cynical for how it looks. And there's a lot of different games, but like we don't need to like tear down the prior characters in a franchise just to make the newer one who adheres to, like, say, a more inclusive or diverse sort of background. It's like an artificial straw man that's being pushed in these projects by these people purporting to care about that stuff. I don't think they're trying to do a genuine job. I think they might just be trying to, I don't know, actually try to make people mad, create some sort of a reaction and some culture war on purpose. They're not trying to like resolve issues or make brown people likable or anything. They're just trying to make them less likable with the worst attempts ever that are so obvious to anyone with a brain. But they're playing stupid. So I don't know. Like when you try to make, I noticed like with black female characters in their games, a lot of the time they try to, remove their femininity, and it's like almost like they're trying to like make them. They're trying to say that black women are less of women than other people who are the non-white. I mean the non-black females. It's like I noticed that they're trying to make them less appealing. In a way, or it feels like that's what they're trying to do, from a feminine standpoint. So they'll seem less likable as a female character compared to any other prior. And they do that by like, oh yeah, we're just gonna make the black ones just like act like men, I guess, or act masculine. And present them in an ambiguous way, an androgynous way, to where you don't even notice their femininity, so they'll look less attractive to anything that was before them. It's like it's on purpose. I started noticing this especially in like Dishonored 2. In Dishonored 2, in the DLC, it seemed like that's what they were trying to do. That main character there. It's like, are you really trying with this character? Are you trying to make her likable? Because it doesn't look like you are. Looks like you're doing something else. I don't know what Mighty Number 9. When they were making that game and they had a black female character, like there's this one of the community managers, this woman was trying to say, she suggested that this black, we should have a black female, but she has to be butch. And I'm like, why? Why does she have to be butch? Just because she's black? Why can't she be feminine? What, because it makes the female who's not black in the game look less feminine? Or look more feminine? Is that it? You don't want to take away from her femininity because this is another woman in the game, which we can't make her femininity overshadow this white one. So you got to make her butch. So it seems like that's what they're trying to do without saying it out loud. The black character in that game just had to be, the black woman in that game just had to be like, masculine. Why though? Why was that the situation? This is not even the woman who suggested it is not black either. She's a white woman. So do you just see black women as just masculine, or you just want them to all be masculine make yourself look more feminine or something. I don't know. It didn't seem weird to me. I don't know. Do you really care about black women? Or do you just want to portray them as less of a woman than you are or something? That's what it's felt like to me. That's just one of the small examples, stuff like that. There's multiple examples like that. Oh shit. Oh man. I need to drink some water. You know when you get a leg cramp if you haven't drank water? I got one of those. So I'm gonna get some water. Yeah, I've had this ever since I was in high school and I started working out, or in middle school really. Middle school was when I really started, being athletic. I was never athletic well, actually no, that's a lie. I was athletic in elementary school, but it just came naturally. I didn't actually train. I was just naturally athletic when I was in elementary school. But I got for real about it in middle school. Oh shit. Let me get some water. I'll be right back. Oh. Got a cramp in my leg because I didn't drink enough water. I've had that ever since middle school. And I also noticed in that game, Drake's Fortune 4, Uncharted, I noticed they had a black woman in there. And their idea of trying to make her likable was their idea of trying to make her likable was shitting on the main character and having her beat him up and have her be very masculine. She was a black woman. The most masculine of any woman in this series thus far. All the other women they're white. They're not as masculine as this particular woman who happens to be black. It's like, is there like a trend with black women that they don't want to have them be like, they don't want to say that they're like feminine in any way. They can never be portrayed in any feminine, like, they gotta always be masculine to not outdo the femininity of anyone who's like, say, less melanated. And it's a really weird trend to me. I've noticed it for a while. And I noticed it in some of the games they were showing off too. I don't know. Some of the recent games I noticed they were showing off. Some of the indies, well, you expect that from indies, but also the industry games too, the more bigger games. All right, let me drink my water. Let me get my other seat too, so I'm more comfortable. I guess I don't need caffeine. I'm wide awake right now. I didn't need it. Okay, we're good. All right. Here we are.
And in that Suicide Squad game, they have Deadshot, the black. Well, yeah, he's dead. He's black in the new DCU because Will Smith played him in the Suicide Squad movie. They decided to make Deadshot black for real, at least in that Suicide Squad Arkham game. And it doesn't seem like they were really trying to make him likable either, because they have him kill the white Deadshot, because the white Deadshot does exist, but he's called an imposter. So I gotta wonder, were you really trying to make this character likable for real? Or are you just trying to create a negative impression or cause a reaction from people? Just not serious. You weren't serious about this character. You wanted to make some people mad. Foment this narrative about a culture war, or help it. He kills the white imposter. So it's like, you could have just had them coexist. You could have just had a black Deadshot and a white Deadshot. You didn't have to have him kill the other guy. You don't have to shit on the non-black character to uplift the new black character, or some male character uplift the female character. You don't have to do that. It looks like they're trying to not make the character likable. It seems like they're not actually trying. And it seems cynical to me. It doesn't seem like they're making a genuine attempt when they do shit like that. And the only other black character in the Suicide Squad game is Green Lantern. He's a good guy, so he has to be shit on for being a good guy. Because black people, they never believe in, you're not a real black person if you're good. You have to be like a villain or a dark if you're a black person. You're a sellout otherwise, The Green Lantern gets called a sellout in the game, the Black Green Lantern in the Suicide Squad. And he gets stripped down to his box. It's completely disrespected. Most of the characters in the game are disrespected, but he's among. He wasn't spared just because he was black, though. So I don't think they really had it like I don't think they really gave a fuck about these, trying to make these characters likable. The diversity sort of argument is just done for marketing purposes, public relations purposes. They don't really give a fuck about it. They just want to make their shit look more marketable. They can care less stuff. And I think they literally just want to make the characters look make people legitimately hate them, not even just they just failed. No, I think that they intended to have people not like these characters. I think there's an actual agenda going on, some sort of Mockingbird type of operation. To not be serious with your attempts. I can even go into movies. You have a movie where I've talked about Finn before on other streams. Finn in the fucking Star Wars movies. They're trying to present him like he's some triumph. Oh, we got a black stormtrooper. And he's one of the main characters of the cast. And you didn't you didn't make him like competent in any way. You made him a bumbling janitor who's a coward that runs away, who's thirsting after a white woman. You made him like a fucking stereotype of anything. He's not. There were black characters in Star Wars before him that weren't this embarrassing. You made a step back. This isn't progressive. Like, I think they did that on purpose. I don't think it was an accident. I think they did that shit on purpose. And Finn wasn't originally planned to be like a black person to begin with. But I noticed when he was planned to be like a white character, they didn't have any of this embarrassing shit for him from the original blueprint of the character. He was supposed to be like Han Solo, a smooth, suave, who's also going to be a Jedi. Who's going to like discover his Jedi powers and shit. But he was going to be smooth like Han Solo. But none of that happened. We learned he's minorly force sensitive at the end of the series, but damn near everybody's minorly force sensitive by the end of the fucking series with those Disney films. It doesn't matter at that point. Well, okay. Who gives a fuck? That doesn't mean anything. Everybody's force sensitive at that point. They can just all learn to be a Jedi. Okay, then why is Rey special? She didn't have to learn anything. Like, I like the original prequel and the original movies, the original series prior to Disney. You had to be trained in your powers. You didn't just automatically have them. And she didn't even know she had force powers until fucking episode 7 happened. She's so Rey is just so proficient with her powers that she just discovered. Because she doesn't need no mentor to teach her how to do shit. She just knows how to do it. It's like they were trying not to make her likable either by having her, like, presenting her that way. I don't think they were trying with this character. They didn't give her any motivation, really. It's like an excuse to, like, not even have to, like, give her motivation. Or give her, like, a character arc. Well, we have to write a character arc, but that takes work. We're just going to say that she just knows shit, she's so strong and independent woman, when really we're just lazy. And we don't really want this character to be actually likable. We hate Star Wars, and we just want to ruin it. I think Disney legitimately hates Star Wars. I don't think they really give a fuck about it, other than as making money. But they actually want to ruin it too, on top of some money they can get out of it. I think Kathleen Kennedy might have had a beef with George Lucas. I think she legitimately did. And Spielberg. And she, like, covertly wanted to ruin Star Wars. I have a suspicion about it. And Indiana Jones. I wouldn't doubt that she did. Because she used to work with Spielberg and George Lucas in her younger days. And she wasn't a producer. She was more like she took notes and got coffee. But she wasn't, the only reason she was even, got into her position in the first place because she was married to one of the partners that George Lucas and Spielberg were working with. Like, it's some nepotism that got her into her position. She shouldn't have even been there. But she hated realizing that fact, so she wanted to ruin their projects, I guess, in retrospect. That's what it feels like to me. I mean, I might be wrong, but it seems that's the case when you look at all the evidence, all the information. I mean, I don't think they were trying to make Phoebe Waller-Bridge likable with how they They just completely presented that character in that Indiana Jones movie. Are you really trying with this character? Yet again, no character arc, no real motivation. Like, what's the point of this character? Just to shit on Indies. She's just there to shit on Indy and emasculate them. That's it. We don't really want to give her a character other than as a conduit for that. That's pretty lazy, and it doesn't show that they really care about these characters to begin with. They just need a conduit for like dismantling or deconstructing these franchise and this franchise. I mean, and the characters in it, the original characters. Well, let me play the rest of that video. Let's have a comment. Brief. Well, it wasn't very brief. It took a big tangent. But once I die to this guy, I'll listen to more of it. I'm not even getting mad at fighting this guy. I was getting mad fighting that Crucible Knights, but I could handle this guy. I think I can kill him if I pay attention. He's a bitch. A big old bitch, too. Oh yeah, the new characters in that Willow show, I don't think they were trying to really make them likable either. For the same reasons. I don't think it was a serious attempt. They want to make people mad. I think that's what the real goal is here. And they want to foment some forced culture war argument and like, reaction. He's doing it. He's doing it. He's doing it to it. Oh, fuck. He's getting fat now. Trying to roll away. Oh, he came. I didn't know he'd fit through here. He looked a bit too big to fit through here, my dude. You shouldn't be able to roll through that. What the fuck is that? I'm gonna play the rest of that stupid video. Alright. I mean, I guess they're kind of talking about the same shit with that other video I got off of about soft games. I probably should have just stayed on that at this point, but whatever. We'll continue it, and I might listen to the rest of that soft game video as well.
The reason why he left is because he has no argument, and he knows he's going to be made to look stupid.
Who left?
He will look like a fucking idiot.
This was
because anything he says will be immediately disproven by like multiple examples. But he can't, and this is again, rats thrive in the shadows. They thrive on implications, innuendo, and generalities. And whenever you pin them down, you get them in the rat trap, they start squealing.
Somebody from the chat, I don't know.
He's going to learn.
I don't know what that's about.
It's a valuable lesson. I'm doing him a favor.
I enjoy eating my dopamine manipulating chum from time to time as well. It can be satisfying to turn
Diablo 4 was a great season. Just recently, my brain go burr. I'm not above it, and I'm not there. I'm no better
I'm not
than
a fan
anyone
of
else.
paying
In fact, looking for
$100 for a game
Enduro farming, by the way. Hit me
when
up
I can just play it for
if
free.
you're doing it. I think the worst part, though, isn't
So-
even how these games are designed and focus tested into that gameplay loop, but rather because of the vast amounts of money and time.
Path of Exile is the real Diablo at this point.
The brunt
The
end
one
of
that's worth more
recouping
money.
those costs. Enter every microtransaction you've ever known. And I know you're sick of hearing the list, but here's the rundown. We of course have the box price for most of these games, but then there are the free-to-play variants, which inevitably those will always include some variation of subscription.
The
Nowadays,
free-to-play games are always the most expensive ones.
these are pretty much done.
Depends on what you're doing it is, though. You know, there's some free-to-play games I've never spent anything in,
Easy
so
one, everyone's happy to hand wave those at this point.
certainly less than
Days of earning your cosmetics and playing
any premium
games.
games.
And then the convenience features, right? Where we spend extra money to bypass the inconveniences that were put into the game by the developers.
Intentionally to make the game worse, so you have to pay to take them off.
Want to spend that money, and then the most egregious variation is the paying for power, where you spend money to speed up your progression.
Why are you showing
Also known as
Genshin?
pay to skip stands for
Genshin's like
skipping
easy
the game.
mode
That's
game.
what
You
it's
don't
for.
really need
And
to
then
pay
go
for
along
power
with
in
these
it.
cash shops, with these
Every
sold
unit you
convenience
get
features
or
and
every
these
herb,
powers that you're paying
artifact,
for, you will have these games designed aimed to push
weapon
you
you get
towards the shop,
is
such as
stuff
having
you
worse
can
quality
use
of
to
life so that you
feature
want to
it.
buy the convenience features to bypass it, or having
There's
inflated
no
runs to push
PvP
you
in
towards
it, so it's not like
purchasing
one of those
the power
games
and those skips.
you buy
And now
power
we are triple
so
A
you can
gaming.
shit on
As I
it.
said in another recent video live, any game that sells convenience and or power of some sort, they are literally making the game worse on purpose so that you are given motivation to buy what they are selling.
That's a fact. Ooh, that's a fact.
Yeah, and some other games. Yeah. Genshin was a bad example. I just noticed you showed Genshin when you said that.
The worst offenders. And I think there's a nice separation
Yeah, a lot of other
between the
games do
AAA
that
games
crap.
industry for like the single player linear playthrough experience, and then the AAA game industry when it comes to the live services and those MMOs. A lot of what I'm talking about leans more towards that, although there can be an argument for a lot of these AAA games, single player titles as
I wouldn't
well.
mind
It's not
stock
really
for that.
the portion of the AAA industry that I'm talking about. So anyways, yes, AAA games, they take forever to develop. They cost hundreds of millions of dollars. They're too expensive to take risks with.
They're lame. They're not even good.
And on top of that,
Forget about how expensive they are. They're not even fucking good. Waste of money. Because they're more about visual spectacle more than they are actual mechanics.
So it was no surprise then, in recent years, a lot of the AAA portion of the industry is being put to shame by indie and mid-tier studios. Devs who started out making their game out of a Reddit thread, just like,
Oh, last epoch.
A game out of a
coming
Reddit
up with
thread?
an idea on a Reddit post and saying, hey, let's make a studio and let's make a game. That's what
You know,
we
they sent me a box of stuff. I have it downstairs with my other boxes of stuff that I haven't opened. I figured I'd open it next time I played the game.
The last epoch. Or
Yeah.
developers who admit they don't even really know how to make games
Last
and then
Epoch
end up
was good.
churning out Power World, one of the biggest games of all time on Steam. It is absolutely crazy. We've got studios
got
in many
a new
cases made
DLC
up of
coming.
50 or less employees just demolishing
Which I will be
sales
learning.
and
What's
player
it called?
amounts of development conglomerates with tens of thousands of people working on titles for them. In the past 12 months, just looking at my own gaming habits, I can happily say some of my favorite games have been Enshrouded, Last Epoch,
Yeah, Enshrouded
Wars,
was a-
No Rest for the Wicked, Evil Rising, Baldur's Gate 3, and Witchfire. Not to say that I
Witchfire looks really
AAA
good.
games. Top of my head would
Wanna
be Dragon's
actually
Dogma
play
2. I had a
Witchfire.
great time with.
Yeah.
I played a lot of WoW Classics, specifically Season of
Damn it.
Discovery, and Diablo 4 I revisited recently and had a solid 2 weeks of entertainment.
Fucking idiot.
Done at this point, but yes, a
Playing
majority
Diablo
of my
4.
playtime with games
wrong with
over
you?
this past year has been with games made by indie devs or those mid-tier AA studios. And I think a lot
Yeah, I mean, I went in on Enshrouded. Like, I played Power World way more than Enshrouded.
Yeah,
Power World is
Power
terrible.
World
That
is
still
better.
surprises me. Someone played that. I played the entire thing. I'm gonna play it again when the patch comes out.
large
I hope they fix some of those
is
bugs.
because these games are made by
Some of those
smaller,
bugs were
more
deal breakers for me.
studios.
I want to go back to it, but I
like,
need to
say,
fix
Ubisoft, for
a lot
example,
of the
who in a
bugs.
lot of cases will have many thousands of people working on like
When I build like a structure, it
gets
gets
lost in the
automatically
because it's the kitchen,
dismantled
as they say, and you don't have
even
that
when I'm not online, that kind of
that you tend to get with these games made by
so they need to fix that shit.
Also, because with these indie studios and these mid-tier studios, you don't have budgets that are as blown out, which makes them a lot more likely to be willing to take risks and try new things. In fact, I would even argue that indie and mid-tier studios, they have to take risks, because in order to stand out as a small studio amongst the sea of many thousands and thousands of indie devs, you have to make something that feels novel and unique, and to do that, you have to try new things, you have to take risks.
I think there's probably a lot of truth in that. Like indie games, it's like not only do they have to, but they're the only ones that are able to. So it's like, yeah, you can always have an indie game that's really good at doing something that exists already. But he's right that like a lot of these indie games, the ones that really pop off are the ones that, you know, this is the circle of like what video games are, and they make that circle just a little bit bigger, you know, just slightly bigger.
What a lot of AAA studios just aren't willing to do. Get that argument that, hey, a lot of Assassin's Creed games all feel the same. A lot of the Far Cry titles feel very similar. Ubisoft isn't the only one.
When you find they felt the same, they weren't
that's another great example. You get these big
Souls
AAA studios that seem to turn out
most of them feel just similar, you know, they feel the same.
whereas the indie studios have to take risks in order
But
for anyone
they
to
also have a lot of
attention to
interesting
them.
shit
And as a
going on.
result, we get more
Not so
novel,
much
interesting
all of the
concepts in
Assassin's
some
Creed
circumstances. And I think the cherry on top is the fact that for the most part, indie games aren't full of all of that cost-recouping BS, those microtransactions, those cash shops full of convenience and power for sale. You know what I mean? They're just games, they're sold to you,
My power.
they have a base cost, and that is it. You just play it for fun. That's the end of the transaction. And again, this is mostly applicable to the MMO and specifically the live service portion of the AAA industry, but even some of it bleeds into the single-player games. You see the single-player games with cash shops and season passes as well.
This is what's happening, and they have to have the cash shop in this season pass, because otherwise the game won't be profitable. Because gamers don't want to spend more than like $60, even $70 is too much for a lot of gamers. So like, you know, prices are going up like this. The price of the game is staying the same. So like, how do you meet those rising costs? Well, you do that with microtransactions. That's how it happens.
No, you just cut
it's just
a lot
going
of
to become
the
more and
fluff
more
out.
common.
You cut a lot of the fluff out. That's what you do.
I do want to make it clear here, this
And
isn't
you're just going to lose sales when you're raising
video
prices.
because I
You're losing
don't.
sales you would
They
have
have their
otherwise
place in
done.
the industry.
If you got to spend so much money to the point where selling the game is not profitable
It
anymore,
has been great to see games from smaller studios reach the masses with titles like
probably don't belong in
Super
the
Mario,
industry to
with
begin
Power
with.
World,
They
and even
just
the
go away.
Helldivers franchise.
It's
Really,
not
really
really
cool to
parasite on
see
the
these
industry.
smaller studios, these
The
indie
corporations
devs strike out and get
wanna
such
just make
massive
that
appeal
exclusive
and
to
get
go
just
away.
such high player numbers and sales. Really love to see it. And yes, I myself do enjoy AAA
How do we-
titles. I play plenty
Well,
of
this
them.
the
and I'm
budget
sure I
costs
will in the
this
future
much. So
as
how do
well.
we
There
justify
are
raising the
aspects
price?
of the AAA
We believe in
games
them about what
that
they
are just
say about their
higher,
budgets. How
right?
much of that is
Just higher.
for marketing?
So great. I am so happy to
How
have
much of
these
that is
indies
a
and these
fucking
mid-tier
CEO's
studios
bonus?
stepping up and putting up just like
Nothing that
absolute
goes
bangers.
into a game.
Fantastic. And
Well, it's going to be becoming more common. It will become more and more common too, because
It's
like
like fucking
obviously
on
something
it's
like
arguing
Android
about, oh, this is so
5
expensive
and
to
the
make.
advances in
But maybe we
AI
should
are
get
going to
the
give
fuck out of the
people
industry.
even more tools to create
Make
at a
room for
scope that they previously weren't able to.
Do more with
A game
less.
like Power World made as an indie studio 10 years ago is like unfathomable.
Power World didn't
The
cost
same
no
as, like,
fucking
Enshrouded
20 million
either.
or 200 million.
Like this is completely unimaginable. So like in the future, we're going to see this become even
It didn't
more
even cost
common,
$8 million.
where it's easier to get to that AAA quality with like 10% of the resources. Unreal and AI comes from AAA. Yeah, that's true, but right now people that aren't AAA are using it and are able to produce content that people consider on par with AAA.
Yeah, better yet, no cash shop. That's a nice cherry on top. Long and the short is, I've been having a blast with a lot of these indie and mid-tier studio developed projects, and I hope to see a lot more in the future.
Indie's the only thing that I care
AAA
about at
games,
this
I don't
point.
know what the future is going to be for the industry. Again,
I don't understand getting excited for anything with Ubisoft on it, with EA on it, or Activision on it. Do people legitimately get excited seeing those
They're not specifically to the games
studios
industry,
anymore?
but nevertheless, that
I
doesn't
don't know
mean
why,
that
but
they're
Bethesda,
with
no.
AAA gaming, or
They
that
don't
some
make
of
these
these issues are
exciting.
tied to how things go. A lot of what I covered here with AAA game development, the long times, the high cost, the resulting lack of willing to take risks, and the back end of the monetization.
That's making me actually
parts of the game stripped so they can sell it to us, or made more inconvenient so they can sell us the answer to that. All of those things.
Well, this is what happened with Assassin's Creed, and that's what happened also with Star Wars, is that now, and also Yakuza Like a Dragon, I think, also did this, or Infinite Wealth, is that now gamers, again, it's the boiling frog. They don't realize they're being boiled. And gamers right now are in the perspective of they are being boiled, they know they're being boiled, and they're saying to themselves, it's okay, I like the heat. Whenever the game that you paid $70 for is intentionally incomplete, so they can sell you again more copies, or a higher version of the game for $110. It's pathetic how gamers justify this. It's insane.
That's very Ubisoft.
They do. When they exist, sort of outside of the conversation of people who are investing aren't willing to spend as much money and take as many risks. That is also true. But yeah, I don't know.
What the fuck? My stop is not working sometimes. It's very annoying.
Hopefully you've been enjoying
I still have mana.
That does it for today's video, though. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed. I'll see you guys next time.
You big bitch.
And there it is. I wanted to watch this because I think this is becoming more and more true. And you're seeing this. Like, obviously, we had some really, really, really big AAA W's today. Like some insanely big ones, right? With Xbox. Xbox probably made, it was probably the best AAA game showcase that I've ever fucking seen.
Better than
Right? It
any
was
Sony.
so good. It was insanely fucking good.
That's sad.
However, that is not the majority, and that hasn't been the norm for a very long time. And it's disappointing to see, obviously, but I think over time you're going to see more of these indie developers making content and putting out games that are going to be able to compete with AAA in even more components. I think a really great contemporary example of that with graphics is Manor Wars. Manor Wars has insanely good graphics. It looks amazing, and it's also an indie game. So it's going to become more and more common. Dragon Age is hot crap. Yeah, I'm not saying that like every game was good, but I do think it's probably I do think that the Xbox game show this year is the best one that I remember. Like, I don't remember a game show that was better than the Xbox one this year. Why does interest go up? Food goes up, pussy goes up, but you're surprised the game costs $90 now? Well, at the end of the day, I don't have a problem with the price of games, but other people do. And also, if players are unwilling to spend that amount of money, then developers either need to meet that price or go out of business.
Yeah, exactly. Go out of business. You shouldn't be spending hundreds of millions of dollars on a fucking game, then maybe. Why does it cost that much? Did you really have to hire a celebrity voice actor? Shit like that is what you need to be looking at and when you're talking about budget. You know, that Cyberpunk 2077 game might have cost less. You know, it wouldn't have had to put like Poland or whatever in debt. Because they got like a loan from the Polish government, I believe, for that fucking game. You know, maybe if they didn't hire celebrities like Keanu and Idris Elba, they wouldn't have to spend that much to begin with. They would have to take out loans from the Polish government. Anyway, we'll play more. Yeah, if that fucking 2077 Cyberpunk game just focused on, you know, what its original blueprint was, it was going to even have third person. The original concept for 2077 was going to be third person, like The Witcher, and there were going to be classes. You know, there's going to be more of RPG elements. That did not manifest with the final product. A lot of shit was cut, to be honest. 1 second. My legs feel much better after drinking water. Water, you know, if you're experiencing any cramps, I would suggest drinking water. I don't know how much this expands another particular type of cramps. but it might help too with that. Or chocolate. Women love chocolate. A massive gamer said, "Let's hear this crap."
Capcom Super Election Vote shows fans really want a new Mega Man, Ace Attorney, Dino Crisis, and
that would be
Devil May
nice.
Cry. 82% of the voters
I want a
identify as
3D
male.
Mega Man now.
14%
Not just
identify as
3D Mega Man.
female.
I do want 2D as well.
Yeah, what a big surprise. Like, I love how every single time that there's like actually a fucking vote, like who do you think is playing all these fighting games? Do you think it's women sitting around playing fighting games, Street Fighter, or Devil May Cry? No, it's mostly guys, like fucking obviously. Do you really think Dante was like, yeah, girls think he's hot, but how many of them are playing the game? Probably not as many as the guys. Come on. What's the remaining 4%? I don't fucking know.
A lot of them the women are just watching it on YouTube instead of playing it.
So yeah, 14% seems high.
Because they do think Dante is.
As a result, the point of Devil May Cry was voted
They
as
also
the
think
number one
Nero is good.
character. Yeah, because it's 82% guys. How many percent of that, like what percent of the 82% grew up with Devil May Cry 1, 2, or 3, thinking to themselves, Dante is just the coolest guy, man. Whenever I get older, I'm gonna be just like that. Because that was me. Fuck. That would have been me.
That was not me.
Yeah, he's a cool dude. Yeah,
I just
he's
thought
so fucking
the
cool.
game was
I loved
fun.
it. Surprised it wasn't Virgil.
I'm black. I was never going to be like that type of character. Or look like him anyway. I mean, I could be the same attitude. I like his attitude. He's entertaining.
Number 2, but okay. When comparing to Global
I
Votes,
vibe with Dante's
the
attitude.
former had Devil May Cry, the later had
And Virgil
as
is
the top, never played that.
even Nero.
Resident Evil ranked number 1 globally, not a surprise.
Like, I like
Japan
that
had
whole
Monster Hunter base. However, Mega Man managed to be number 2 in both categories. Yeah, you're goddamn right. Whatever happened to that? Ace Attorney could give less of a fuck. Worth noting that from
It's so
X,
visual now,
Mega
we don't
Man,
care about
Series X
this.
took
Ace
Subspace took
Attorney
3
makes
spots as well.
And there's
Just
the
behind Dante and
localization
Leon
of
via
those
complete
is
results.
really not good from what I heard.
There we go. All right.
It's pretty bad, apparently.
So, what a big surprise.
They're not accurate.
82% are dudes. Yep, this is just about right. Generation ratio, mostly dudes in, wow, guys in their 20s to 30s. And some in their 40s now. The game's been around longer. Who could have ever, what?
Mega Man
What?
itself is
Are
40
you
years
telling
old.
me that the main people that play video games are young guys? No way. No way. What? No. No, what about all those emerging audiences?
Oh man, I'll be right back. Listen to this though. You can listen to this crap now.
We're gonna get them to go play Devil
I'm
May
gonna meet
Cry.
right quick.
Oh man. Jesus Christ. So it's a country ratio. Japan, United States. Okay, it's about right. So US number 1, obviously, is the most people. Congratulations. Dante is number 1 character. Devil May Cry, number 1 franchise or title. Yeah, bro, I could have told you this. Like, I mean, let's be real. Like, yeah, I could have told you this. What's this here? Devil May Cry 5, Resident Evil 4. Bro, like, Monster Hunter should have been higher, bro. Like, I feel like they should have put these two together. This 7K versus 5K. This is an expansion. This should be like 12K. It should be number 2. But, yeah, it's whatever. It's rigged. Japan, there it is. Male and female. So girls like Okame. What the fuck is this shit? I don't even know what that is. I don't know what that game. I never even heard of it. Top 3 game by Generations. Dino Crisis. So, like, basically what this says is that old people are too slow for Devil May Cry. Like, that's just what it says, right? Like, I'm not trying to, like, start an agenda here. I'm just saying, like, according to the data that's presented, you know, it is what it is, right? It's in the middle. Yeah, exactly, pretty much. Yeah. Interesting comments from Capcom. Yeah. Column. Favorite Capcom game series. Biohazard, Monster Hunter. Fuck yeah. Damn, it's crazy how Monster Hunter's only number 4. I don't know why Monster Hunter hasn't popped off in the US in the same way that it did in Japan. Because, like, look in Japan, bro. Like, Monster Hunter and Mega Man are just, like, so far ahead. I guess Ace Attorney's pretty high up there, too. But, yeah. Favorite Capcom game ranking. Favorite Capcom character. What a surprise. Dante, Leon, and Mega Man. And then Virgil's number 4. And then Jill. from a 82% male audience, I could see why. Rating top 10, Dante, yeah, of course. Let's see here. Top 10 of male and female. So girls like Leon Moore. Wow. Another big shocker there, guys. What? No way. PSP and DS Monster Hunter, the reason why a game popped off in Japan? Yeah, you think so? Yeah, I wonder why. Top 3 for Generations, Dante. Kids think Dante is the... Man, I was 14. Yep. Fucking yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, it's so funny how it's just... It's so obvious, right? It's just so obvious. Let's see here. Top 10 most popular male characters. Yeah, okay. Female characters. Chun-Li. Yeah, I would have expected that. Okay. So what do you look for in Capcom games? Number 1 is exhilarating gameplay. What's so funny about this is that hot characters, unique and attractive characters, is almost number 1. It's almost number 1. Like, it's very, very close. It's like it's closer to number 1 than number 2 is to number 3 is to number 2. Right? It's massive. Yeah, what a fucking surprise, man. Unpredictable and exciting storyline, memorable background music, high difficulty, superb graphics. Oh wow, graphics are only down at 34,000. What a surprise. So yeah, I think that's not a big surprise. I wish more people saw this. Yeah, fucking exactly. This is why Honkai Star Rail makes 100 million almost every month. Yeah, because people like attractive characters. You don't want to add in some like ugly bitch and then nobody wants to, nobody what the fuck wants to be that, you know? It's not even a question. So yeah, so people that sold beer in the 80s knew what they were doing? Yeah, duh. People also like gambling? They sure do. No one cares about playing with other people? No, not really. Exhilarating gameplay. Bro, base Japan. Japan doesn't even care about the game. They're just like, yeah, I really want to have a hot character. I want to have a really hot bitch in the game. That's what matters, right? Everything else is whatever. Holy fuck, man. There's only 7 different votes? Yeah, but still, it's crazy that it came out on top. I know. It only barely beat it by 7. But that's still nuts, man. Holy shit. I didn't care about story. Yeah, holy fuck, man. Let's see what the rest of this is. What image of Capcom do you have? Creative spirit. What's this here? Force of playfulness. We'll look at the rest of this. Ranking details. Dino Crisis. I never played Dino Crisis. Top 3 by Generations. Big fucking surprise. And this is all a bunch of other random stuff. We remade with the latest technology, including character design, which story direction. I don't even know. Fuck, probably about. I want to see Mega Man. Those Commando games? That was a long time ago. Damn, even I barely remember that. Holy shit. Which Capcom games influence you the most? Devil May Cry, number 2. Resident Evil. Yeah, not a surprise there at all. Yeah, look at that. So yeah, it's crazy that whenever an actual large-scale study, it's funny to me whenever studies like this are done, because they prove the obvious reality that everybody knows to be true, but people try desperately to hide. Obviously, people want to play a game with a hot character. Obviously, people don't want to look at like these like frumpy, realistic characters. Nobody ever liked this. It's obvious. So if you make a game like that, you can do it. Do whatever you want, right? It's your creative vision. But just don't expect people to, you know, get up and buy it, right? Japan not ashamed to say it? Yeah, exactly. Nothing new, but very interesting charts. Yeah, I love charts, man. I love graphs. The largest campaign ever to stop publishers destroying games.
Hi, I'm Ross, and
Hi, Ross.
I enjoy video games.
Me too.
Or a lot of them. I also enjoy owning things. You know, like things that
Ooh, Ross is in for a bad time. Ross enjoys owning things.
my hand or my immediate vicinity that I use frequently. When I walk down the street, I like how people don't usually run up to me and try to take the clothes off my back, because it's generally
He doesn't live in San Francisco.
understood by society that those are mine and belong to me.
No.
But see, just by me saying those things,
Toronto.
we already have a problem. Yeah, you can probably see where this is going. The video game industry has a lot of problems.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of problems.
Yeah.
I think regulators have no idea, actually. But there's one problem in particular I've been hating for decades.
What is
and
it?
it's getting worse and worse. And that is destroying video games so that no one can ever play them again. And I don't mean your brother sticking a disc in the microwave so that your copy is destroyed. I
we
mean
did that in middle school.
everyone's. There's a really specific way this happens.
This is an AOL disc.
Just as a quick refresher, for most of gaming history, this hasn't been much of an issue. Most games contain the code that interfaces with the hardware and run the game, and that's the whole story.
Sure,
Now, for
yeah,
online
simple.
multiplayer games, it's a little different. Where a
All
lot
right,
of
I'm
the
back.
older ones will let players host the server that runs the game, then other people will connect to it. Or sometimes give you the
And that's
software.
what happens with a lot of older games.
I'll be
Is
right
that,
back.
like, you still have servers online, but they're not run by the company. They're like peer-to-peer.
Make that server a standalone thing and connect to that. But over time, more companies decided, hey, instead of letting the player host the game, what if we did it instead? Well, there are pros and cons to that.
It's actually interesting he brings this up because I looked recently and it looked like there's a couple of Monster Hunter games that are actually ending their service as well, where you're no longer going to be able to play online with this. And this just happened, it got announced in the past couple of days.
You will on
It's
PC
sad.
though.
That can be
In
a
a
valid
private
approach,
service.
in theory. But here's the problem. The games industry has a horrible track record of maintaining its own games. There was a large study conducted last year that showed only 13% of published video games are still available by the publisher commercially. So what happens when the...
But on PC you can get it.
Commercially. Oh, okay. Yeah, I agree with that. That's probably true. Yeah, no
You
doubt.
can't buy it anymore,
Absolutely.
but you can get it on PC.
publisher takes over the
PC's the
responsibility
best
of
platform.
running
If
the
you
game.
think about every single Super Nintendo game that isn't on the Wii Shop or like the Nintendo Switch store. Yeah, it makes sense.
Well,
when you
it's
think about
usually
it.
pretty good while they support the game. Then when they stop, it's a complete nightmare and is responsible for destroying more video games than any other practice. That's a big shift. Because the industry is trying to get users to go from a model where they get to keep their game, regardless of when support ends, to one where the game dies
a long
forever.
time ago.
I'm not a fan. For companies that do
Well, I think that a
This
big
is why I'm
problem
all
for
about
this
that
too is that
iPatch.
a lot of these games are online only.
I'm all about that
So
iPad.
like if you're playing this game and there aren't
I'm all
servers
about
for
that
this game, you effectively are no longer playing the game.
private servers.
The number of games that survive in any form, forget being available commercially, is a lot worse than
Embrace the
13%.
iPatch.
I did an informal investigation on it a few
It is
years
your
ago,
destiny.
and found it was closer to 40%.
It is the only way. It is the
I
way.
think that number may have gotten even lower since I did that. From my perspective, this has felt like a slow movie
When that shit starts
to
happening,
take away ownership from more and more
get
people
that Jolly
over time.
Roger out.
So video game...
I agree with that, but I also think that like a lot of the games that are being referenced that are no longer available are
Get your
probably
private
bad
servers up and
Atari
running.
games and bad Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis games too. That like these games are no longer being they're no longer being like provided. Like I think it's actually both. Like it's clearly there are issues like fundamentally, but why this percentage is so high is because there's a survivorship bias of the games that are like everybody knows well. And like, oh yeah, we can't buy this game anymore. That's really bad. But there's like 50 other games probably that are out there that you can't buy, and nobody cares because nobody wants to buy
Nobody
it.
like
Publishers are making billions.
Or a lot of people just didn't know about it. There's so many games that people don't know about. They got lost.
Purposefully killing it
The
later
lost
so
media.
you're left with nothing, but then they get to keep your money.
Well, I don't know if I agree entirely
Somebody on
with this
PC.
based off of the premise of every single game
And
is
most things get
obvious.
because they're
So,
on PC.
for example,
There's
if
gonna be
you
like
bought
some
a Super Nintendo game
that can be
in
uploaded somewhere.
1995 and you're playing it now, does the company have an obligation to continue selling that Super Nintendo game? Because whenever you're using that 87% metric, I think that includes those Super Nintendo games. So I think that this is really relevant in terms of like online games and games that are no longer functional without online server support
Yeah.
and developer or publisher support. That's what I think this is really about primarily. Because it's logically not about NES games that Nintendo isn't selling anymore, which I think are the vast majority.
Don't confuse this with rental.
rentals are sold as a service and tell you exactly how long they last. A customer who rents something is informed. Video game publishers don't want that. Because they know if they put on the box exactly how long the game will last, then that will hurt sales a lot.
Oh, absolutely.
So it's important to withhold that information.
Like, for example, that's why I didn't play Season of Mastery. Season of Mastery, that was the first, like, a Classic Plus thing. That's why I didn't do it.
Customers. Because customers are used to video games
World
lasting
of Warcraft shit?
forever, more or less.
Must
You
be.
could have bought games from the 70s that still work today. You could have bought games from the 90s with online mode.
Those games aren't also being, like, I guess I'm probably being, like, kind of stupid about, like, hyper-focusing on the 87% thing, but, like, the developer isn't really publishing these either. And those aren't included in that metric.
Multiplayer that connects to the internet that still work today. Even if the
Yeah.
companies that made them no
He's right
longer
about that.
exist.
They're not even publishing the game, but
Publishers
just
like to place
being
modern video
available
games
online
are
right now.
designed to die, but they won't tell you when, right alongside ones that last forever. So they can try to cash in on customer
Okay,
base.
so he is drawing the distinction. Okay. Yeah, alright, I
Okay.
understand that.
Oh, all right.
Got it.
Fusion. Because the average person is
we
thinking
saw
about buying something. Now, I personally hate this practice because art has innate value to me. And while it's debatable if video games are art, they can undeniably
They're undeniable.
Depends on what
Anybody who thinks
they
they
could be
aren't
art.
is
Maybe.
probably like 65 and doesn't know how to use a smartphone.
contain art. So seeing games destroyed to me is the same as if someone were to walk into an art museum and start torching the paintings.
Yeah, I remember that happened like at the beginning of like 2010s, right? With like ISIS taking over like different places and destroying the like different like statues and
The
shit.
CIA was
I thought that was
taking
really
over.
sad.
That's what it
I remember
was.
that was awful.
I gotta wonder if it has been
Injury that companies that do this face no
a
penalty.
useful idiot a lot of the time. He gets into a lot of these
reason for them doing it.
artificial
And I won't
culture
get into
wars.
the
I disagree with that. I think there is a good reason for it. The company no longer finds the game viable or worth hosting anymore because they're not making enough money off of it. So
Because
that
he
they
gets
stop
into
doing
the
it
lip
to save
service,
money.
so the
Like that's as
intelligence
good of a reason
service,
as any.
what the fuck they want
And
to.
you may hear
It
it
is anti-consumer. It doesn't make it okay, but I think that there's clearly there's a very obvious reason why. The problem is that a lot of these games
I don't
don't
call
have the option
ISIS
for dedicated
ISIS like
servers
there's some
that people can run on their own.
No, they're the CIA. They're created by the CIA. They're frontmen for the CIA.
even though they largely didn't used to do that,
They create
even
some fake
for online multiplayer.
terrorists
That's what
out
it
there
is, yeah.
People saying that
that we needed to go in and stop. And now they're our best friends, depending on which country
I can only see
they're
things
president.
one way.
If they're in Ukraine, they're good guys. If they're in Syria, they're good guys. If they were in Afghanistan and Iraq at the
And
time,
he's right, because if you go
Or in
to
Africa at the
IHOP,
time, they were bad
it's on
guys.
table whenever you get
and
there.
they're whoever we say they are.
Actually, I went to
Even though
IHOP
the
2 years
real
ago,
ones that
and the
actually
place is like it's like a prison
have those banners
cafeteria
and
now,
shit.
because
Those
too
are
many people
actually
would go to
just
that
our
one to get
guys.
fights, and so now there's like nothing to do
Mercenaries
because people
behind.
will throw things at each other.
The CIA hired.
Yeah, talking with people who defend this practice can feel a lot like that. I'm reminded of when Microsoft was sued by the Department of Justice for bundling Internet Explorer with Windows, and Microsoft claimed it was impossible to separate it from Windows 98, even though it wasn't even with Windows 95 when it launched. And through the power of hindsight, they actually did remove it from Windows years later.
Internet Explorer
Reminds
sucks.
me of like Shadowlands, Covenants, remember that? Well, we just
I really like when the
flip
Internet
the
Explorer.
switch and make it to where you can switch them whenever you want. Oh, everybody's leaving? Guys, we found the switch!
So it was possible earlier, it's possible in the future, but it's impossible right now because the company has spent a lot of time trying to make it
Let's
difficult.
get it.
That is such a good analogy for what is happening with games. You have no idea. Anyway, no matter how you look at it, this is such an obvious assault on consumer rights. And in any other industry, a company destroying what they sold you would be illegal. If only there was something we could do about it.
This is an interesting
What's
question.
that petition
Because
thing? I
whenever you
believe.
buy a game,
I remember seeing a petition about this
are they
issue.
destroying what they sold you? Because they sold you the game, and you're buying the game under the premise that it will be available to play.
and you would never buy the game if it was not available to play with the servers. So you would logically have to know that they were providing the servers in order for you to buy it. You didn't buy the game? Well, you're buying the service. You're paying for the service indefinitely.
Literal game is service.
Like that's it. I know that you never bought a game. You never bought a game. That's never how it worked. That's not how it worked in 1990. Like for example, like if you buy Super Mario Bros. 3 in 1990, you don't get to reproduce Super Mario Bros. 3 indefinitely for as many people as possible. So like that's never the case. And it's also like if we want to talk about legality, I'm sure that a lot of these companies are probably, they're probably safe legally. But this is something that's not good for users that want to play an old game that they can't play anymore because it has online functionality that is no longer available because the publisher decided that it wasn't worth the money.
Well, as it so happens, we have the best opportunity ever to take action on it. How's that? A few months ago, the company Ubisoft announced it was shutting down a game called The Crew. Now, The Crew, I think, is a flawed but remarkable game, but none of that matters here.
It's okay.
What matters is it had at least 12 million players. Wow. This affects a lot of people. And Ubisoft is headquartered in France. And France has some of the strongest consumer laws of all. See, this isn't really about The Crew or even Ubisoft. It's about trying to find a weak link in the industry so governments can examine this practice to stop publishers from destroying our games. Outside of the United States, this practice is very hazy legally.
Many governments, I think that what needs to happen is that publishers that are making games that are online only should have to provide, maybe not have to, right? But this is what I would want to see, is that the publisher would provide an opportunity for, if they're shutting down servers, for other people to maintain servers in their place. Because I don't think that the publisher has a indefinite responsibility to host servers for everything forever. Because if you gave them that responsibility, nobody would ever make a game online ever again. Because it would just be impossible to do that. Like it would be like it's an indefinite financial commitment that you just can't do. So like it should be like the goal should be to have people who are able to make servers for themselves.
Yeah.
Don't even have laws regarding it.
That's what I think.
I'm not kidding.
We do have servers available.
If we can find even
one
put
that shit on there regardless
this practice, that might fix everything. Because the thing about
copy whatever source code you can.
is it's not that expensive for companies to do it, especially if it's a known requirement from the beginning.
Yeah.
That's almost negligible.
So I also disagree. Like if you have a game that has an online component, I think that the publisher should be able to take away the online component if they deem you as problematic. Like for example, like if you're playing online and you're happy,
for rules and experience for other
and you're streaming into every single lobby,
that just makes
I think
sense.
the publisher should be able to kick you out in the same way that if you buy a ticket to a concert and you're rowdy, they can kick you out. Or you go into a restaurant and you're loud, they kick you out. Like there's no other instance where you can buy something and be in a public space that destroys other people's experience and like not have any repercussions for that. Like it's very obvious that you should be able to. But the problem is whenever a publisher and like a developer is able to take away access to the game entirely. I can understand removing a person's access to their publicly hosted servers. I think that's fine. But removing access entirely is really bad.
Everybody
Why am I
knows
not locked on
that
anymore?
when you
What the
keep your
fuck?
game in one country, then
Why
maybe
does
just
it
make
do
it
that?
global policy, because then they've already done the work. It really could take just one victory to end this. So even if you have no interest in the group,
Big old
if you
bitch.
just want to keep your games, keep watching. There's
I see that. I see
Hearing about this shutdown creates a precedent on a research odyssey to see if I can find any possible way to get governments to examine the legality of destroying your games. I have been waiting for an opportunity like this. This problem has been going on for decades, but it usually only affects a small
I'm
minority of
assuming this is the start date and then the service date. Let me see if I can look and check it again.
What the fucking camera is fucking me
It's been
up,
going on for
dude.
decades. But it
This
usually only
stupid
affects a
fat
small minority of players that are too dispersed to do much. Most have moved on when a game is killed, and the industry has been counting on that leverage Wildstar. An event like this that's big enough to do something is like the planets aligning. We have to take action on it. Now,
That was
I
an
do not think
MMO.
I'm the ideal person to do this. I'm not a legal expert. I have limited reach. Honestly,
Any
everything
concept.
about what I've been doing has been an amateur effort. I don't even want to be doing this. But if you care about this issue, I'm what you're stuck with, because nobody else has stepped up.
We're your
And
fucking
I guess
parents.
there is one thing that makes me a good candidate for this. At least with me, you're getting maximum.
As he's trying to be now.
I have decades worth of resentment on this issue. You know when a dog is eating and somebody yanks away its food bowl? Even nice dogs will get angry
What a
or even
dick.
attack you.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about the industry on this. Since I started this campaign, I've spent hundreds of hours on it, talked to multiple lawyers, worked with over 100 volunteers, sent hundreds and hundreds of emails, trying to chase down every single lead I could find. I've been relentless on this. I've felt it too. In the game trailer for Yes,
I don't think that you can hold the companies legally accountable for this because of the terms and services, like
Motherfucker.
condition agreements that you sign up for. So I don't think there's ever going to be a way that you can hold them accountable legally with what exists right now.
Watch me.
I think what needs to happen is that there needs to be some sort of allowance for when a game publisher
Such a
is no longer
cocksucker.
providing
I gotta
a
say.
commercial,
He's always doing
Like,
devil's advocacy for
like a commercial option to consume a game. The people who own
Sometimes
the
he
game
just
should
shows
have
how
the
much
right
of
to
a-
provide their own option. Because, like,
company
yeah,
man
if the game's making its own servers and you have to play on those servers, that's totally fine.
That's mean, but
EOI
I
has no bearing on the law. TOS isn't binding, but at the same time, it's also like it is and it's not.
No.
It's like
We'll
you can
see how
sign
the
away
court
some
decides.
degrees of your
Don't
rights
argue
for
it in
TOS
court.
and
Don't say,
EOI,
well,
but
they
you
just
can't
it just
sign
won't
away
happen.
other degrees of your
Alright.
rights. Does that make sense?
We'll see what the
Right?
court
The
decides.
king is hearing so many requests
Don't
from the
argue it in
subjects
court.
that at one point he just keels over from it all. Yeah, that's exactly what it feels like. And
A lot of that shit is
after
not
months of
legally binding.
research,
Just because there is an
yes,
agreement
I have found ways we
in
can
some
do
sale does not mean
not
it's
just
legally
long
binding.
shots either,
It's not
but really
automatically
viable
binding.
ones.
You can
I
argue it
found
in
what I
court.
think are all the agencies worldwide best equipped to
He
take
knows
action
this.
on this issue.
He's
And
just
I've
a
also
company
found dead
concept
ends.
sometimes.
A lot of dead
Because
ends.
he runs a
In fact,
business,
I've
so he
found
wants to
so
be able to
many
have this
that
new
if
way
I
to
know
sell
earlier what I know now,
when it's
I could save
convenient.
myself
So
at
he'll
least a
argue
month
for this
of
crap.
work. Like I said, this is an amateur effort, so I'm trying to make up for that with even more hustle. And because I'm treating this like it's my only shot, because it probably is, I'm not stopping at the crew. Remember, the crew is just a means to an end, which is to stop companies from destroying their samples. So rather than just getting the government to interpret the law, I figure why not go to the source while we're at it? So in addition to the consumer action, we're also pursuing government petitions. Now hold on, I know what some of you are thinking. These are not normal petitions, where you get a bunch of people to sign to show that people care and help companies do the right thing.
Okay, it's a different thing.
Come on, guys, give me more credit than that.
Well,
No,
good.
these
You
are
know you did your
government
homework.
initiatives. Now, if we pass a certain threshold, the government has to respond. It's the
Yeah.
law. And for some of them, it's like 100K, guaranteed to be debated. Yeah, we'll see. But this is how long it looks like in the U.S. So, what's in these petitions? Well, it varies for every country since they all have different rules, but they all share the same fundamentals. I tried to design the fairest proposals I could that still solve the problem. Yeah, remember that, naysayers. I'm trying to solve the problem.
Yeah, I think that's one component. Is like I think that this guy, even if people like disagree, because I've seen some people in chat that are like disagreeing with like what he's trying to do. This guy is trying to improve video games for everyone. He's not
Yeah,
against you.
I like
He
this
shouldn't be
premise
against
so
them at all.
far.
Like, this
It
guy's
makes a
really
good
trying to
argument.
do a
Makes a
good
good
thing.
case.
But I'm also trying to keep the scope as narrow as possible. I am not trying to reform the games industry. I am just...
Somebody says too much of a double-edged sword to force companies to maintain something for a very small group of people. I don't think the company should have to. And I think that's
well, just allow the fucking owners of the fucking game to be able to put it on whatever fucking platform and maintain it on whatever server they want.
Down other people for making the game
Suck a dick.
after the fact that they're not making it available. Basically, like, if
This is
you're
a
not
false
providing
argument.
it, somebody else can.
Like this narrative, oh, we just need to maintain servers. No, you don't need to maintain shit. Allow the players to be able to have
While the game is being supported, any game
the product on whatever server they want. You don't have to use what fucking server.
We're going for a light touch. It's only once a
Your
forward
local
and
co-op it has to be online.
First is any game
Any sort of semblance
or
of it.
licensed, for those of you who want to be pedantic, will be required to be
Shallow
left in a
pedantic.
functional state when support ends. This does not mean a 100% perfect state, but it means a hell of a lot better than completely inoperable.
Oh, you staggered now?
A
You
functional
punch something,
state.
motherfucker?
I really do,
Oh,
because,
yeah.
like, for example, like, let's say all the WoW servers shut down. Does that mean that you can, like, spin up your own server by yourself? Like an offline server that's, like,
Fuck out of my
that's
face.
available to the player? Because I think that you should be able to make your own server, but should
Yeah.
that be available for, I don't know, like on a personal level or for the ability to join servers? I'm not really sure. It's something that's, like, kind of confusing to hear.
This has already been solved on the
think
PC
that- yeah, I
platform.
agree
Shut
with
the fuck up.
Also
Shut the
require
fuck
no
up.
connection to the publisher or affiliated parties.
They should have no
in order for it
say
to
over
continue
anyone's
functioning.
private server that has nothing to do with them. Shut the fuck up.
I 100% agree. Absolutely.
So you would need to be attached to either offline
They're
or
not even
private
selling the
hosting
game
pool.
anymore. Fuck
Yes,
them.
it's the only way.
Yes.
Anything
Who
less
the
than the
fuck
game
would
dies.
they
And yes, this would
Want
include
that
DRM that needs to connect to the internet. And because of
the
the
fucking
You need
company.
DRM. Like, let's think about this logically. If you're not selling the game anymore,
Yeah.
then who cares if somebody steals it?
Yeah, who gives a fuck?
being forced to go to all this trouble, I really want to head there.
Enough clutching
So this would
pearls.
also apply to games with microtransactions. Except we didn't say microtransactions since these were plain English. So this would cover free-to-play games. Because if you've been sold something like a virtual horse, but then the publisher destroys the game, well, now you can't access your horse. Oh no! I've been told undisturbed possession is the term for what I'm talking about here. And finally, these rules cannot be
he's gonna
superseded
do his
by
fat
any user license agreement.
explosion.
That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. There are some
Oh
things
my
that you
God.
can
Fuck
cede
this fat
to a
bitch.
company with license
Remember
agreements,
that
and some
fat
things that
ass
you can't.
vampire?
Like, for example, like this is not with an EULA, but like just here in the U.S., you cannot enter
Yes,
into
I
a
am
contract
fat
with
shit.
slavery. Even
Come
if
at
both
me.
parties are adults,
Needs to lose weight.
you cannot
It ain't
sign a
healthy.
contract that says I'm a slave.
That's how companies have been getting
This guy's
away
a
with
glutton.
robbery in the first
Yeah,
place.
he
They
did
were
shit.
in the US.
He's only fat
There's
because
no
he's
point in having
he
rights
you know,
if
he's
you have
well
to sign
fed
them
because
away
he's
just to play
yeah.
a game.
That's why
I'm
he's
sure
fat.
a
That's
few
the
of you
more
right
behind
now
it.
are scoffing at this proposal.
He's fat.
But just remember Internet Explorer, guys. It was impossible.
Rich.
Yeah. And that's it pretty much. Now, one thing we left off the table, but it's kind of an open secret we'd be willing to compromise on, or at least I would be if a company doesn't fix the game, but they give you all the information, tools, software, and so on so the programmer could be reasonably expected to get it working again, yeah, that's an acceptable substitute. Though the possession some others had
Still has
on this
type.
was strong, and they didn't trust
Type
companies not to
200
abuse
guy.
a provision like that.
God damn.
And
So
they could be right. So we left it out of the proposals.
Okay.
We also left out this applying to all software and restricted it just to video games. Now, don't get me wrong. I personally think all commercial software should have these provisions also. But
So
this is
nasty.
already such an uphill
It's smart for him to say that and to do that because it just increases the scope so much larger that it would be almost impossible to approach.
battle. Expanding the scope would invite many more enemies and weaken our odds. Remember, source code release seems unreasonable.
Yeah, I will even targeted.
I'm
Direct
not sure if I
action.
agree with the
Focus
idea that they
direct
have to provide everything to a person to fix the game. I'm not
You
sure
don't have to do a
that
shot.
they need to provide that.
You just targeted
I
precision.
have a single issue.
Precision.
The point is, even if you don't own the crew,
Precision.
you'll still be able to do something if you live in one of the countries where these petitions were launched.
Right.
This is a multi-pronged attack. I have flaws for everyone. Well, no, but a lot of people. It's complicated. Remember a while back when there were so many versions of Watch Dogs for sale? Somebody had a spreadsheet on
all
how
those
to buy the
monetization.
game?
Standard edition, special edition, vigilante edition, Uplay exclusive edition, limited edition, Dead Sec edition, digital deluxe edition, Uplay deluxe edition, gold, season pass,
Ball gag edition, where you're just really taking it up the ass.
But it does have a lot of variables. What I found is that's nothing compared to Skyrim. What people can do varies on where they
Remember
live
the
and
horse
whether they
army
own the
in
crew or not.
Skyrim? Remember when people used to balk at the idea of like
So I've seen it as a priority to make
selling
this as easy as possible for everyone.
cosmetics
To
and
that end, I've been working with volunteers to launch a website to do just that. StopKillingGames.com.
I remember that. Yeah, I know about that already.
There's the two G's there back to back. Stop killing games.
Yeah, I already knew about this. This is a
Usually
myth.
steer you exactly where you need to go to have maximum impact. Some people can do multiple things.
That's a video game.
So
That's
even try to
a
prioritize
fighting
your
game.
options a little bit. In fact, you can even just stop watching and go here if you want. There's nothing else you really have to know that's not on the site. We have blazed a trail for you to hit back against the industry. All you have to do is follow it. We've done
These staggers
all
more
our
about
hard work.
poking. It's gonna
People
poke his
can
fat
complain
ass.
about the games industry, but the reality is all internet comments are meaningless.
Fuck this guy.
They are.
Oh shit! Did I even move away?
Unless a government official is reading them. That's what this is.
then you go to jail.
In fact, if you got lost by anything I said, here's all you need to remember. File complaints if you can, sign petitions if you can, get others to do one too. And you can do that at StopKillingGames.com. That's it. That's everything. You can tune everything else out like some sort of Zen master if you know those three things.
Okay.
But maybe you think I'm exaggerating what we can do. Well, why don't you judge
Well,
for
people
yourself?
can do anything they want. You get enough people together, you do any kind of stupid shit you want to do. Like, bro, we got a lot of people together who went to the moon.
Yeah, right.
I mean, you think people can't figure out video games? Like, yeah, you easily.
Yeah, we totally got past the Van Allen notes.
Since no one else has stepped up
I
on
totally
the
believe
video,
that.
I'm assuming Command to play
Even though they've
general
been
on
saying
this
they've been
attack.
trying to figure that out.
So, you want to see my battle plans?
Let's see.
I'll show you my battle plans. This could take a little while. Alright? Okay, Future Was here. Some bad news. Like I said, this is an amateur.
I don't know how people can like.
So even
I don't know.
though
I'm very
petitions were
questionable
submitted weeks ago,
of
at the time of this recording,
video
we're still
from
waiting on all of them to
1969.
open up for signing.
That grainy video. They actually thought that was broadcasting. Never
And they're
mind.
still not ready yet. They haven't been rejected.
I don't know.
We're
I don't
just
think. I
waiting
don't know
on
how in
them.
2024 you can believe that story.
2027.
This is kind of a nightmare for you.
In
Oh
December
well,
of
we're
2027.
moving forward anyway. We do have links to where they're going to show up though, so that's fun.
Oh, this is fucking tough.
Okay, battle
The
plan.
rarest move ever.
Now, before we get into regions, the first option is worldwide, and it's eligible for literally anyone who owns the crew. Yeah, anyone. Aren't you glad I cleared up those dead ends? Although it does have a critical flaw that can't be avoided. See, the option for all owners of the game is to contact the DGCCRF.
I would say the
For instance, the National
moon
Consumer Protection
landing. I would
Agency.
say
You go through this
going into
website
that.
here. They set
How
up
does France affect
I
the
gotta
whole
say, a
world?
lot of that has to do with the Cold War. So
worldwide.
make
But there
a-
is a catch.
you know, keep
The
that
catch
in the
is
back of your
they want
mind
everyone
when
to contact
you
Ubisoft
recall the
first.
moon landing.
So that means everyone is going to have to contact Ubisoft support, tell them to fix the game.
I just wanted to say
Then,
that before
when
you
Ubisoft
stop talking
refuses,
about it.
or 2 weeks have passed, then you can contact France.
Okay.
This is a major setback because gamers are not known for their long attention span. I've seen people who
I have a
wait
long
until
attention span. I never
taking a second step may ruin us.
Nothing
I may
maybe.
be asking the impossible here. I don't know.
I think the problem really that you're going to run into is that a lot of the people that run government aren't tech savvy enough to understand the nuances of the problem. Because I think that anybody who understands
That was an excuse like back when you were a kid. The people who run government and shit now grew up in video
it
games.
is. And I also think that people
They're
who
not
hear
like
about it
some
will
fucking
probably agree with the conclusions that he's coming to in
Boomers
this video.
so much.
Like, for example, I don't have a problem with, like, Nintendo. It's like if they're offering a game and you can buy the
Not
game from
exclusively,
Nintendo
anyway.
directly, you should be able to, you should have to buy the game from Nintendo directly because it's their product and they're making it. So I'm only talking about this in the context of abandonware and especially in the context of live service games that are abandoned or go into end of service. I think that if you have a game that goes into end of service, and another person or group of people put out a version of that game afterwards, they should be completely allowed to do that, and you should not be allowed to shut them down.
Doing this shit again.
It should be their right to do that because you are no longer providing service that you agreed to indefinitely provide whenever you purchase the game. That is what I think is the cleanest and easiest solution.
It's been a while since I've been in
It's very, very simple. So, like, if you're not providing the game as a publisher, then other people can step in and do it themselves. However, if you are still providing the game, then I think the publisher has every right to remove other people that are doing it without licensing. So it's only in the instance of what
That's why you put on the pirate hat in that situation.
Which, I mean, to be honest, I think is actually a law right now.
They're still publishing it, but they're being dicks and removing games.
I think probably from Pirate Software would know more about this than I do. But like, my understanding is that there is a law for abandonware that allows you to do this for the purpose of preservation. Am I wrong about that? That's not true. I don't know. Yeah, EA does that, but you can't make money, right? Yeah, ask Nintendo's lawyers. Okay, yeah, I think they disagree. So,
fuck about
anyway, that's
Nintendo.
what I think. Is that I think that's what needs to happen. And the problem of like why it's not happening is simply because, like, even if France does it, there can be companies that probably won't release a game in France. But the markets that you need to really think about are the, very high GDP. Very high GDP.
Fuck this motherfucker.
Countries
this shit, at least.
like
me
things like China, things like the United States, really big markets that companies can't afford to just not market to. Those are the ones that you need. So France is a really big country.
That's
right?
good. That's
of
some
course
good
it is,
shit.
but it's not as big as
Get that
China
shit up
or the
in there.
United States.
He's gonna
If
bounce
China
up
made
in
a
here.
rule against this,
that
or
was
the
close.
United States made a rule against this,
Take that bubble
basically
save.
every single video game developer would completely change the way that they play games and the way that they make games. Like, if China made a law against gotcha games would disappear. Because a lot of these games also can only make money whenever, like, for example, if you're selling a game, and probably some of them would still exist, right? But it would dramatically decrease the amount of them, at least.
Yeah, he's gonna
So,
die
like, if
this
you're
time.
selling a game, and you can sell it to 100,000 people, you can make a ton of money. But if you can sell it to 1 million people, you have a
I killed one boss today.
So if you have enough countries that have laws against something like loot boxes, that ceiling is so low that it's no longer a viable business strategy to make a game. So as soon as it begins to happen, it continues to happen. So it's only about getting the ball rolling, and then things will start happening. Did China make gotcha games illegal? They did not, but they had.
No,
there
of
was
course not.
word and like kind of conversation
We're still
about
making
it happening. And in the process of that, literal billions of dollars were lost in market valuation overnight.
This right here could be exactly why the games industry has been able to get away with this crap for so long. Because no one has the attention span for the second step. Some of you can do it.
I think the
though.
rates in
I know
China are also
some
like
of you.
they have to be in
Let's
a
look at the
certain
rest of the campaign, because I am not stopping there.
fair way.
God.
I don't know. I
Remember,
might be
everything
wrong.
about to show you
Compared
can
to
be
the
done
US, I think
this
it's
year.
Yeah, also somebody said in chat, I want to let you guys know, like, this is the example of how regulation can be used to be in the benefit of the consumer. Like, this is what regulation is
there's a
supposed
good
to
way
be
to
for.
do
It's
this.
supposed to protect the consumer against companies that are doing things that are unhealthy to the consumer.
To that worldwide stat. So there's no one or the other here. And with that, let's start with the outskirts. Australia. Okay, Australia has a two-pronged attack. First, if you own the crew, you can file complaints to the ACCC, and they may do something. There was news not long ago about the ACCC going after the games industry. For God's sake, we need to find a way to piggyback onto this. Don't go after them and ignore customer games being destroyed. Don't do that to me, Australia. But besides that, Australia is also the first of our government
Don't
petition.
probably go after them in the context of Grand Theft Auto causing shooters or like causing right-wing extremism.
Didn't they ban Grand Theft
Sure,
Auto
that'll
at one
solve
point?
that problem.
Yeah.
It'll be fine. And anyone in Australia can sign these, not just members of the crew.
Huh.
And honestly, you guys need to hurry up, because once it's approved, we only have a 4-week window. Except, of course, it's not ready yet, even though it's been submitted. They give us a small window, but then don't tell us when it starts. Oh my God. Now, the upside is we only need 50 Australians to sign, but that's nothing.
Fucking Australians.
They may not take it serious.
Hurry up. No, I don't know.
50,000. It's like a wise key man once said, there's no kill like overkill. This is the most time-sensitive element of the entire operation. Go sign it as soon as you can. Future loss again. I just got word from the Australian government that the petition looks fine, but they can't open it for signing until April 22nd or maybe May 15th. They don't know. So they can't even meet the 4-week deadline they're holding us to. What the hell, Australia?
Full of shit.
This guy is beginning to learn
Serpents
the
on utility.
futility. Yeah. Now he's beginning to learn. Oh boy. Moving on over, next we have Brazil. Now, Brazil is the
Brazil actually has surprisingly a lot of consumer protections regarding loot boxes and pricing in games. I didn't know this, and somebody told me about it, and I researched into it.
I'll card in all of this. All the feedback I received said their consumer protection agency would probably be ineffective, but having a class action lawsuit very likely would work. Apparently, the argument of we sold you a product, but we can take it back at any time doesn't fly with a lot of judges down there. Now, at the time of this video, the situation was still in limbo, so this one may or may not happen. If it does happen, however, the cost of a class action lawsuit could be affordable if we have a fundraiser. I was told a 4-figure sum estimate. I currently do not have...
No. USD in Brazil? Yeah, maybe. I don't know what the ratio is there.
Plans for a fundraiser, but if this looks viable, yeah, we may do one later. Don't worry, 90% of the battle plans still work even if fireworks spends a dime. Brazil is just part of the attack on all fronts mentality I've been taking. Moving on up is the United States.
Okay, here we go.
Okay, and moving on is Canada. Now, the thing about Canada is the federal agencies can't do much on this issue.
Oh, man.
You have to look at the provinces.
Come on, dude.
Moving on. U.S. isn't doing
United
shit.
States.
All right.
I want to keep it real. Here we go. The U.S. is the suicide mission of this operation.
no.
Unlike
Yeah.
a lot of other countries, the
The
laws
most
are not great on this issue.
corporatist
And
of
at
them
this
all.
point in time, it's almost hopeless.
The most predatory of them all. They don't give a
Members of the
fuck.
crew can still contact
They want to
the
get corporations to
FTC,
go.
and after giving coach points by a lawyer, we can tell them to increase our odds to look into this. I am still not expecting a victory here. It's more like I just want to be sure our options are truly dead in the United States before I write it off. I don't want to pronounce the patient dead too quickly. You know how that goes. And hey, don't forget, if you own the crew, you still have that option to contact France directly. In fact, I prefer you do that before you contact the FTC, since it has way better odds. Now, if you're an American and don't own the crew, which is probably the majority of my
Look at this
audience,
snake.
then I have nothing
Is
for
this
you.
a snake
I'm
being?
sorry, guys. I really tried.
I don't
They
think
were-
this is going to happen until enough people that work in government have the tech literacy to understand the nuances of the problem. Like, for example, it was interesting to see, like, Ted Cruz. Remember whenever I talked about the loot boxes and they talked
Oh,
about
our government.
like, that's,
Yeah.
whenever more people know that, they will understand how it's problematic.
The
So
Texas
all we
government,
need to
or
do
senator.
is wait for
I forget
one
which one.
senator's grandkid
Yeah, senator.
to get his phone and then buy Fortnite V-Bucks on the phone, and then before you know
That's
it,
why.
Fortnite's going to be against the law. Because I think that these guys just don't understand what the problem is. Paul AOC, she's tech literate? Yeah, I mean,
Not
again,
really.
I think that somebody like that would probably understand that
She's
there are
talking about
people
the
that work
stars and
in
making
the
it tech
government to do, but also you have to keep in
She
mind
only did
that
that for
all
PR.
the people
with
that
the
work in
Republicans.
government need to continue working in government. So they need to be working on issues that prospective voters care about. And the reality is that prospective voters don't really care about these issues a lot either, because tech literacy with a lot of voters is pretty low. Because most voters are older, and most older people don't play online-only games. Right? Not the same way that people that are 21 do. So it's like it's a lot of issues that are coming together, right? It's like, imagine like, oh yeah, this senator is going to focus on video games. Okay, well, what do you think somebody who's 61 thinks about that? They probably don't give a fuck.
My mom
Just
knows
don't
more
play
about
anything.
video games
Game
these days.
ownership really is as bad as the
I mean,
naysayers
a lot of
say
the
in the
generation
United
before
States.
her.
The best thing to do
I
is
think
how
you're
you get the
underestimating
attention of someone else who
how much
does
people in
qualify to do
the government
something.
know about
Remember
games
the
at this
3
point.
points.
Games have been
If
around
you're an
for like
American and don't know
damn
the
near
game, you're number 3.
almost 60 years
All
himself.
right, back up to Canada.
50 plus years.
Canada has our second
In a
petition to government.
mainstream sort of
So
way.
if you're a citizen or
In
resident,
arcades,
get on
or
over and
people
sign
know
it.
some.
We only need
some
500 for
computers.
government to
And
respond.
everyone uses
But again, let's try to get a lot more than
It's
that.
not that hard to
Now, for
figure
members
out.
of the crew, we didn't check every last one, but the provincial consumer protection agencies look pretty
So yeah,
good.
AOC
I
could
cannot
learn.
endorse going through
Not
that
tech, I wouldn't
this
say she's
time.
tech
It's almost
literate.
certainly going to be
But
better
yeah,
if
she
you
can
just sign
learn
the petition.
to like
Crossing the ocean again,
understand
we have the
what's
UK.
going on.
And it's a similar story as Canada.
If she was
Consumer
serious,
protection options look
that's not her priority.
But hey,
She's
we
like,
have a government petition.
AOC is just another one of the
Signatures,
actors in
government will respond.
the pro
And if we
wrestling.
get 100,000,
Their
then it's
priority is
considered
not
a debate in
meetings.
Parliament. Now, those sound like
priority
big
is
numbers,
distracting
they are,
everybody
but we have
with,
6 months to get them. So I
Other
think if
shit
we
and
keep
scaring them
campaigning, we
for
can do
campaign
this.
time. That's
And
it.
we move inland to the main attack here. First, let's stop
They
by
want the
Germany.
public to fight each
Germany
other,
is one of
not
the
to
few EU
work
countries where
together
their national consumer
to
protection
improve
is
video
powerful
games.
enough to act on this, despite
That's not what
Ubisoft
they're
being a
about.
French company.
It's not what anyone
So
else
this
is
is one of the
doing.
few exceptions where you should contact the local agency first.
It's got to be the people themselves.
Now, I learned late in the process, Germany and France have
But
the
AOC
option to
herself,
petition their governments
so
also.
you've got to get
However,
somebody
their thresholds are kind of
a bit more
high,
low
and I can't
profile
hope to
who
cross them
someone
without
else
making
yourself
serious
knows
inroads with foreign YouTubers
move the needle
or
on
media
this.
sources first. So if we get
She's
enough
not put there to
publicity,
do anything.
sure, we can add
Stuff
German and
like
French petitions to the list, but not today. And that brings us to the heart of this. France. This is where our most powerful attacks are. French owners of the crew are the space marines of this operation. You have more options than anyone. The more you can do, the better. In fact,
I want to go fight
Mobile's
Radon.
best option is probably your weakest. Besides the DGCCRF, will also be sending registered mail to Ubisoft as part of summoning a government mediator to take legal action on the customer's behalf. It's almost like having your own prosecutor. Amazing. And just a hit
It's a
every
long
last
ass video. I didn't know it was this long. Okay, it's an hour. Okay, it's almost over. I mean, it's at the 42 mark, so not almost, but it will be over sooner than I thought. Excuse me. Okay. I'm gonna read some lore. I'm gonna pause because I want to pay attention to this lore. I'm looking at this on this item description. The stuff that I got. And then I'm gonna go fight Radon and die to him. Well, we might be able to kill him. I think if I stay on the horse, I'll be able to kill him. But we got an Ash of War too. Where is it? Where would it be? Here it is. Or it's in this section. I mean, I haven't found it yet. Oh, wait a minute. It might be an incantation, actually. Yeah, it's an incantation. It's this shit. Thrust out belly with gusto to unleash repelling shockwave. That's hilarious. Ancient power of the god skin nobles. Yeah. Release a shockwave that knocks back nearby foes. Charging enhances potency, knocking enemies into the air. Once a sign of the gods' wrath. And this is just the wrath of the gods, but using your fat gut to cause the shockwave. This incantation became a trophy of the nobles' god hunts. They're just channeling the power of the skin that they commandeered, I guess, from the gods, and it has the wrath of the gods attribute is automatically on it. And I also got the little god stitcher or god skin stitcher. What does that look like? I used this briefly in my game. I didn't like it as much as some other weapons, but I didn't level enough, to be honest. If I level it up, I might like it. Where is it, though? I think it's in the rapier section. It should be up here somewhere. Fuck. Yeah, here it is. It's right here. What's the lore in this again? Elegant piercing with the celadon colored blade, wielded by Godskin nobles. I forgot what color celadon is. We'll look it up later. The nobles possess skill with the sword unmatched by any low born. Yeah, they're highfalutin, they're affluent, they're elite. Despite its size, successive attacks from the weapon are swifter than the eye can follow. Yeah, my eye kept up at least. I had my Sharingan tonight. Thank God. Thank God, Skip. All right. And the ammonium thing, which is a key item, I believe. I think we give it to that snake lady, Raya. The one with the hunchback. Oh, key items right here. Pass. Here it is. Amnion from a womb that bore unintended offspring. Now this gets me into a theory I had about a possible human or humanoid coupling with the god snake, the snake deity that we've heard about. This would certainly suggest that might have happened, and I think Raya might be a actual snake offspring, because we find out something about Raya, and she might have, like, one of her parents might have been a snake, basically. Okay. Ammonium from the mother's womb, which cradled the poor unwanted offspring of a repellent birthing ritual. It will never dry out, remaining damp indefinitely. Let's see. I'm assuming it's like placenta. All right. Let's go fight Radon again. Well, we need to go spend these rooms. What the fuck can I do with them, though? I can't level up. I can probably do something with my weapons, though. Maybe I can level up my weapons. We'll see. Getting tired. I didn't even have caffeine. At least, although I'm staying awake longer than I thought without caffeine. I'm proud of myself. Can we get anything from you, Graham? This is all we have right now. We need to go kill more gods. We can get her outfit. We don't want that, though.
Now go forth.
Spin these. Ride around, baby. Oh, wait a minute. Actually, I need to check on something. How many of those things do I got? Shit, wrong way. I'm never gonna find my way out of this complicated labyrinth. Oh, here we go. Okay, let me show you something about why Margit is not called. Why Margit has a different name here. Okay, when you first come in to talk to this motherfucker, you can ask him about the unlocated demigods.
There are 4 more demigods yet to be located. Mikola of the Helig Tree, the Unlord.
We know him.
His twin, Melania, the undefeated.
He's gonna be defeated.
Luna Princess Rani, daughter to Renala, and the one only known as the Lord of Blood. Rani is said to have cast aside her great rune, so here at the Hold, we seek the whereabouts of the remaining 3 shard bearers. If you should learn anything of these matters, I'll trade your findings for a hidden treasure or a long-lost right, known only to me. We both desire to stand before the Elden Ring and become Elden Lord. As such, I hope we are compelled to work together.
Not with you.
There are 4 more demigods yet to be located. Mikola of the Hedge Twin, Maleluna Princess Rand.
We've met all of them.
Rani is said to show here at the hold. If you should learn.
Okay, you can ask him about Morgoth before this. I progressed too far. I can show it on my other file. We'll keep it for now. Okay. Let's go spin. Oh. Wrong way. Damn it, I keep getting turned around.
Well, I took you for dinner, Matrix. So how you're on?
Fuck. Okay. Man, I am getting tired. Let's see what she has. Okay, she has these. So I need another bell bearing so I can level up more. I want to level up my mace, but it's all good. Okay, we read the lore. I'm gonna turn on the audio again. Also, wait a minute. No, we're alright, never mind. We're gonna go fight Radon now. I should purchase all these. That's too much. Oh, that's too much. Yeah, that'll be enough. Okay, we're good. Now Sombers. Oh, wait a minute. Where's Eiji? I need to go talk to Eiji. Where the fuck is he again? He's over here, right? Yeah. He has shit. I forgot what it was. But he has it. There he is. He's reading a nice book. Reading his stories. His 50 Shades of Grey. No, he's not a degenerate. I doubt he's a degenerate.
Greetings, my fellow. How can I help?
I almost walked off.
Something else.
About Nakra, about Blight. Yeah, let's ask about him. Let's purchase shit first. Oh, what is this? It's a talisman. Might want to get this. Buy all these. You'll get a. Well, no, this doesn't run out. We can just keep coming back to buy these. When we have these at the other, we have these at the round table, so we don't need to worry about that. So, and these are Smithing Stone 4. That's why they were limited. Yeah, we're good. Let's get some lore with him. Ask about Blighty.
Something. Blythe is Lady Rani's stepbrother. Rani's mother, Queen Renala, approved of him, and they played like siblings from childhood.
Oh, that's adorable.
They were always happy to have me tag along as well. When Lady Rani renounced her flesh and chose the dark path of the Empyrean, Blythe and I swore allegiance as vassals. But none of us will ever forget our earliest days together. Promise to look after Blythe for me, will you? The man is honest to a fault. But fortunately, now he has you.
Aw, that's sweet. Okay. About Nokron.
I take it you've heard of the eternal city of Noxtella. Well, it has a twin, known as Nokron, the other eternal city. After years of expeditions, we've determined the location of Nokron by going underground through the well in the mistwood of Limgrave. You can see Nokron.
Yeah, I've been there.
Only we failed to find a path leading to the city.
Yeah, it's hard to find.
Rise made a good go of it, but I'm afraid this has him quite stumped. To be honest, I'm not sure where to go from here.
This is why we needed to defeat Radon. Radon's meteor shower causes an opening to the city to pop up.
I take it you've heard well. It has after years of by going underground. Only
okay, we'll come back.
To be honest.
He's also a blacksmith. I always forget about that. Alright, we spent all our money. Whoa, we still have money left. What the fuck? What am I supposed to do with this? Let's go buy some shit from some merchants, I guess. Wait a minute, he's right here. Let's just buy all the Somber Stones. Buy them all.
Something.
Alright. I am getting tired. So we'll make like a few attempts on Radon. I also need some background noise to keep me alert. So I'll turn this audio back on. This is what happens when I stream late and I, didn't rest after work.
Citizens will be contacting the UFC Courtoisier, a powerful consumer advocacy group with a great record of defending gamer rights. And we actually juiced the whole process in France a little earlier prior to April, but that was the special operations phase of things. That part's over now, so don't worry about it. And for the rest of the European Union, this is where most of our dead ends were.
I also think that this problem will get worse over time. And this problem, it will reach an entropy that people will begin to care about it. Because right now, there's still a lot of games that you can play offline. But I think that we clearly see where the trend is, right? We clearly see where things are going. So I don't think that it's hit a tipping point yet to where people care about it that are
most games that can be played offline are
understands what the problem is and is able to have a conversation about it. In the same way that now, consumer competency understands PCs relatively well, especially compared to the 90s. But they don't understand crypto, and that's why there's less regulations on crypto than there are on just computers.
They understand crypto.
Since first I thought people should
Crypto
contact
is used as like
protection
a
agencies. By and large,
dark
no.
money sort of
They only
alibi
look
at
at
this
national
point.
businesses,
And it's
Ubisoft
tracked.
is in France. So then the
at
documentation
least
says to
Bitcoin is.
contact the European Consumer Center. And no, I don't advise that either. We did
They don't
do
put
that for a
regulations
while,
on
but the
Bitcoin
answers were all
or
over the
crypto, I
place.
should say.
Some said Ubisoft could do
So they
whatever they
can
wanted
just
because of the
so they
license
can do
agreement.
situations like what
Others
Sam
said
Brickman
Ubisoft was
tried.
liable to provide the service forever,
Smoke
which is
screen,
kind of
cover story.
insane. Yeah, that's going farther than even I want. Yeah, but most of them had no idea how to handle this.
If that was regulated, they would have caught them, but they
Never
would have
heard
made
someone make this kind of
with
complaint
money
before.
laundering, which is what they
Another
use
one
that for.
said it is unclear if these actions from the
Well, Sam
company
Baker Friday
are
was a money
legally
laundering
permitted. There is no clear legal
That the U.S.
regulation
was,
for
the
this.
government
That
was
also
involved,
means that
or at
there's
least the
not any
military.
regulation against it either. I think that he's just saying, I don't know what the fuck is going on. Somebody asked, what do you think about capitalism and gaming companies? I think capitalism is one of the best things that we've ever had.
Of course, you've only lived in you've only known
I'm a
capitalism.
huge
You don't know
supporter of
nothing about anything
capitalism.
else.
There are instances where
So of course you're
capitalism
going to
goes
say
too
that.
far. But instances where it goes too far does not mean that its general effect is not
You
positive.
think this is the best? Is this all you've ever known?
So that's from the European Union
It's
itself.
not really.
guys. There's no consistency. Nobody knows what the hell is going on.
Doesn't really mean.
There's apparently no
I mean, you're not
laws
really
on
making like
this.
a informed
What
sort
year is
of
this?
Yeah.
I mean,
statement.
we're still getting robbed. It's amazing game companies have been able
To
to
be fair, this actually isn't that new, that old of a problem. Like, this problem has only really started emerging.
You grew up with Rocky
in,
Four
like,
telling
the
you that
last 10
communism
years.
is evil and all that shit.
It's not like this has been going on for 30 years or 50 years.
So, of course,
Like,
you
this is
think-
a pretty new issue.
Well, this is what communism is.
Go on for
It's
so
about
long,
Ivan
existing
Drago
between the cracks in the wall like this, like cockroaches.
and
Went
Rocky
to
beat him
shine
because he's a
light
bad
on
guy.
it.
Yeah.
And on that note,
He was the allegory for
attack
communism.
is the moonshot.
And Animal Farm
Which
too.
is a
I saw that as a
European
child.
citizens
Okay.
It's
That-
like the other
that was an
petitions,
accurate
but way
representation
bigger.
of communism.
This one is ambitious.
That was funded
It
by
might actually be delusional for me to attempt
prerequisites
this. I don't
CIA.
know yet. But we would need 1
Back when they were
million
the OSS.
signatures across the entire
That
European
movie was
Union
funded
for
by
this one.
the
And there are some caveats,
Proto
so
CIA.
in reality, more than 1 million. However, we will have 1 year to get these.
to be
I
propaganda
sure as
against
hell can't
communism.
get this from my audience alone, but that's a lot of time. If I campaign hard enough, maybe we can get this. And if that wasn't enough, this is also the weakest
Orwell was
part of the
also a
campaign.
snitch.
Because while
He
we're ready
snitched
to
on
go,
actual
it
communists.
takes
He was not a
months
real
for the EU
communist.
to approve your proposal before signing.
He larped
So
to
there's
snitch
just
on
going to be
actual
months
communists,
delay between
especially
now
the
and
black
when this
ones.
goes public. That is the kiss of death. That means we'll lose most of the momentum from April, and I'll have to
And you
come out
notice
and
when
campaign
you
for
look
this
at Animal
again
Farm, everything
months
in
from
Animal
now.
Farm is
This
just
is one of the
projection.
big problems that like
About
internet campaigns
capitalism.
have is that most people
That's
don't
what the
actually care
capitalists
about
do.
anything and they only get mad
It's not communist in any
recreationally
way.
and they don't really
It's a
care about the
projection
issues they're
story.
getting mad about. I don't know even if this would be possible.
This one may be a
Just
bridge
makes
too
arguments
far.
for the
I don't
freedoms.
know.
It just takes
But
too long.
again, this is me attacking on all fronts.
Where the
And that's
plutocrats
the campaign.
corporation.
We have up to 11 fronts of attack, with maybe 13, though in reality, 3 of these are pretty iffy. But the rest are relatively solid. This is happening, guys. This strategy
What am I
is
doing?
my absolute best effort as an amateur. Now, I'm biased when I say this. But if you care about not losing,
I think that the main thing you need to do in order to get people to be on your side for this and to make action is to communicate the problem in a way that's easy for a person who doesn't fully understand it to understand it. Like, you can't make a 30-minute video about it. There needs to be like a 1 to 2 minute video about this that fully explains what the problem is and why it's a problem and how it's a problem. Yeah,
This is
basically
TikTok,
And
Brad.
I'm not criticizing because like you have to make a video like this to explain it.
This is
But
TikTok,
I
Brad.
think that the main issue is just
No.
consumer awareness.
It can be whatever length you want to get across whatever point you're trying to make.
And a lot of people in chat are misunderstanding what's going on here.
your games in the future,
And if
this
it's
is the
rather-
best chance you're
TikTok
ever
brand
gonna
is
do
not the
something
only
about
thing
it.
that's valid.
As far as I know, no one has ever
I would
challenged
say
the
that it's
reality
a
of game
detriment of
destruction.
anything. You're not going to
And
get anything
certainly no
done
one's
if
attempted
you're
it on
thinking
this
like,
scale.
oh,
And
we got to
I can't
make
say
this
by how much, but this is gonna
short
get
enough
bigger,
to be a
too.
soundbite.
In fact,
on
the
a
next phase
TikTok.
after this is to essentially spam
I know,
myself
dude.
on the internet to try to get more attention on this. I'll do interviews,
you trying to-
appearances, just trying to get people to make Twitter posts, whatever.
Do
I don't
anything. You're not
want
going
to
to
do
get
that,
that done.
But
that
if
time
that's what it takes to
gratitude
end this, I'll do it. Sure.
We have such a short
list of people I
with
put in contact.
you
You don't have to wait.
They're not going to
If you
achieve
have an
shit.
audience that want me to talk about this, you can send me the trouble and contact me directly.
Compel people
Or you
with
can
short
send me
attention
entirely.
to be
I don't have to be involved in this.
to like
Somebody actually brought up a really good point in the
consider
chat.
things
And I
longer.
wonder if there's a parallel for this that you could use in the U.S.
And you can just do that
So
with your
they said that automobiles, there's a law in the automotive industry that ensures the components are produced for X amount of years indefinitely
video
after
essay
production is ended.
can
If
be
you know
compelling
anything
enough
about
to
this,
draw them
do you
into
know
a
that
more
if that,
long-form
whenever that time
observation
is,
and listen.
are other people allowed to produce that same component afterwards if the manufacturer isn't making it? It sounds like a parallel precedent. Yeah, I think this is actually a very, very good precedent right here. Yes, well then there you go.
Oh, gather.
That's the precedent right there.
Send people to StopKillingGames.com. He'll take care of the rest.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a joke. I even have to do any of this for us to try not to get robbed. But that's gaming for you. One thing to keep in mind is the trajectory for gaming is so bad. We have absolutely
This problem will get worse every single year as companies claw back more consumer rights and you lose more autonomy and more control over the
I've
things
been
that you
against
want.
consoles.
It's a big problem that
Consoles
nobody
is just
seems to
making this
understand or care
easier.
about.
PC,
nothing to lose.
no, I control everything on my PC.
Than publishers
I can do
destroying
what
your games.
I will with whatever media
find
I'm
out.
consuming on,
We've already had a glimpse of the
if I
future,
need
too.
to.
It's history now, but when Microsoft unveiled the original Xbox One, their plans showed us what game companies have in store for it.
This was huge, by the way. This was awful.
A surveillance device necessary to use the
We know.
system that collects biometric data.
That's what they already do,
You
though.
need to connect to the company.
By
They
the
hit
way,
it well.
this is like a pretty cool thing.
That's why I don't
but
like
it's not so cool
consoles
depending on
anyway.
who's using it. Is that you can actually measure how big a room is, what's in a room, and how many people are in a room, just simply by having access to a microphone, because you can measure wavelength signals.
Every 24 hours, or else you're locked out of your system, and when they eventually end the router, your entire game collection becomes
Depends on
unplayable.
if anyone's
Welcome to the
making noise
future.
or
Now,
like
soon
talking.
afterwards, they realized
How
they
you
came in too
distinguish it
hot
all?
and had to walk some of that back. But the answer
Never
is
mind.
that
That's not what happened. What happened was that PlayStation 4 came out, and PlayStation 4 marketed itself as not doing any of these things, and they were destroying Xbox in the market so badly that Xbox had to pull back everything because they couldn't compete in the free market against Sony that wasn't doing anything like this. So that's actually what happened, is that, and this is the good thing with competition, free market capitalism, is that people can buy something from who they want. So
Well, yeah,
whenever
you
you
can
have
do
one
that in
company like Microsoft
non-capitalism
doing something that's
as well.
extremely consumer unfriendly,
You think you can only
you
buy
have
from
Sony
one
that holds
person,
them
one
accountable
fucking
indirectly
company
in the free
in
market.
communism? Are you stupid?
either the boiling
Only
frog
one
or
vendor in
six.
communism?
This is
Yeah,
where we're
This is what
already headed if
this
we
is
don't
the
do anything on it.
non-education they teach over
I
here
can't say if this
in
campaign will be successful
and
or
in the
not.
West.
But what I can say is if people
Why
put in the
people are
minimum
dumber.
effort, then we are going to
They're
get
getting
answers
dumber
on this.
because of this
And close to
non-education.
bullshit one way or
It's
the
a
other.
very
Again, if we pass the
anti-education,
petitions,
anti-intellectual
governments have to
campaign
respond.
that our
And
rulers are
own
running
it.
over here.
If consumer
They don't
agencies
want
get enough
the
complaints,
masses
they
knowing
probably
shit.
will too.
Yeah.
We
So they
won't
can get
have
away
any
with
more of this
preying
no
on them.
clear
With
regulation
their
crap.
ignorance
I
allows
can
them to get
promise
preyed
you
on.
that much.
And our
Plus,
rulers
if
like
we
that.
win, can you
tell
imagine
them that
how good it will
capitalism
feel
gives
in
you
the
freedom.
future knowing all
You
your
know?
games are safe and
You're
you
buying your
only have to
elections
think
gives
about
you
whether
freedom.
like
We
the
can buy
game or not?
the elections
That's my vision of gaming
that,
for the future.
you know,
Yeah, I
and
agree.
tell
I mean,
everything
I'd love
about
to
your
see that.
life, and you know
It's a little
they
different
influence
from
everything about your life.
Yeah.
We
And if
get
we
to control
lose, we'll at least
that.
get
Our
told straight to
capital,
our
that's a good
faces.
thing. Not
And
you,
in
though,
democracy,
peasants.
you can never own video
Your,
games that
your
you pay
money
for. No matter how
collectively
many
is
people
not,
want that to happen.
you know, you can't
This will be a
outspend
civics
us.
lesson then.
And we can
Finally,
convince some
I'd
of
like to
the
end this by saying
other,
thank you
some
to
of you to
Ubisoft.
just go along with
You're a
our
French
platform
company and you pulled this crap.
with enough
And
mass
you did it to one of
media
your flagship
doctrine.
titles with millions of players. If this had been Electronic Arts or Blizzard Activision, I wouldn't have had nearly the options that I do.
That's
And
how
a month
Blizzard does
later,
it.
you made a PR statement of saying people should get comfortable not owning their games. And
Yeah,
then
fuck
go on
off.
to lie in that same interview about online games being safe. And
You don't lose any building the game or your engagement with the game. I remember reading this article, and what the person said in the article was kind of taken out of context. but given the way that people are on edge with losing ownership, people were angry about it. But in the article, he was saying, why are gamers okay with, or not okay with not owning their games, but people that use streaming services are. That's what he was talking about in the context.
You're killing the crew! I mean, what are you going to do next? Threaten it?
It was like 8 months ago or something.
Here I've been thinking I have no way to fight this, and you go and create one of the best openings ever for me.
Yeah.
Shame on me if I don't act on that. I mean, it's not perfect, but this is a solid 8.5, 9 out of 10 opportunity here. If we can't win on this, we'll never win. There's no doubt in my mind.
No, don't put all your eggs in just one strategy, dude.
All right, that's it. Go stop killing
If this doesn't work, there's always another way.
Good for him, man.
Never say it never worked.
Hey, good
nothing,
for him.
Nothing will ever work if this doesn't
I'll
work.
link you guys the video.
That's wrong. It also makes me wonder if he's like a saboteur. If he's saying, well, if this doesn't work, that means it's impossible, guys. Don't try anymore. And I'm going to purposely make this method fail. So you believe it. So you peasants believe it. I don't know why I can't dodge him anymore. Did they change his algorithm?
The big problem really with this is, like, he's not talking about all games and all games that are available. Because 80%, like this 87% of missing disappearance of classic games, just because the publisher isn't providing them anymore, that doesn't necessarily mean that the publisher should. Like, there's many Super Nintendo
I don't give a fuck about
them.
I give a fuck about being able to access
However,
it to someone else.
And where this really becomes an issue is games that require online
Like, I don't need them to be my nanny provider.
Company decides that online functionality is no longer financially beneficial,
I just want to have access to it to do really what I want.
and you can't do anything. That's where the real problem is. That's what the issue is. That's the problem. And I think that really the solution to it is if the company is not providing a workable, like, playable version of the game that people can use, then other people privately who own the game should be able to do that themselves. Now, if the company is providing that, then I don't think that other people should be able to. However, if the company goes into service and are no longer providing the game, if somebody else wants to do it, they should have every right to do it. Because you did buy the game, and I think that you do own something and you do have the rights to something. I don't like the fact that these companies can effectively revoke your entire access to the game. I think that they should only be able to revoke your access to their online services. Nobody should have any rights. Yeah, there it is. And
no one should have any rights. That's right.
Unplanned obsolescence.
And that's what our rulers actually do. Only people with capital and property should be able to, have any rights.
This is true.
Only your landlords. And the peasants can't own any bit of property. They're not allowed
to understand the issue. Because I think that most people don't really understand what this problem is. They don't see it in, like, the long-term perspective.
We're gonna make it too expensive for the peasants to even be able to take back any
you see voters changing this instantly. Because that's what a lot of the older people play. It's like these bullshit phone games. So as soon as the bullshit phone games start going into service, then you'll see laws against it. But the problem is that a lot of people don't understand it in the context of, like, they don't know what WildStar is. They don't know what Claw is. So how could they possibly get it?
Why does this weapon have
the shortest
reach ever?
Guarantee a minimum years of functionality or issue
I think Radon's hitbox is smaller.
I don't think that the company should need to guarantee a minimum type of minimum time of what do you call it? Maybe like 30 days. I don't know. I think 2 years is way too long. Maybe 30 days or something very small. But no, I think that really you should just make sure that people have the autonomy to do it on their own. 90 days, something like that, yeah.
Okay.
Something that's salaries compared to retail WoW, they fundamentally changed the game and someone wants to host the original server. Well, fundamentally, retail WoW is not classic WoW. Because if you're playing World of Warcraft Dragonflight, that's not the same thing as playing World of Warcraft. It's the same thing as Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. It's not the same as Mad Max Fury Road. They're both Mad Max.
I'd rather watch Thunderdome.
It's completely different than the other. How should WoW solve the issue to play the game whenever they ban you? Well, I mean, if they ban you and you get banned for, like, doing something that's against their terms of service, then that's too bad. That's what you get. I'm talking about the publisher. I'm not talking about the publisher refusing service. I'm talking about the publisher not providing service.
Well, yeah, you
Which is
said
two
that how
very
many
different
times?
things. Like, I think that they should absolutely be able to kick you
We're
out.
confused.
100%. Like,
Well,
imagine
maybe his
they
chat
have to
is.
have you in there. Like,
Maybe
that's
some of
insane.
his chat is just that dumb.
But they should also like have to provide a service to people that bought the game, or at least to give those people the autonomy to provide the service for themselves.
Fucking. Okay, Renan, stop being a little bitch.
This will be the first time I even play this game since.
Alright, fuck it. I don't know why they're not letting me dodge him. It doesn't make any sense. I've dodged them so many times on other
We'll see how things go.
times. I'm getting tired. I killed one boss today, that's fine. We'll kill Radon on another stream. Anyone's watching this, it went to his Dark Souls playthrough. It's on auto play. It just jumped to another video. But yeah, I'm gonna end it. I'm gonna end it. I'm getting tired and it's late. And we achieved what we set out to do with at least one boss. We killed them. So if anyone sees this, I hope you have a good night. Take care.